You're listening to Des Plaines, Illinois Community Access Radio, brought to you by the Batman Universe Podcast Network.
Bruce Wayne's World, fighting crime, Harvey Dent, ba-na-na-na-na-na-na-na, Bruce Wayne's World.
Should go like down, I think. I feel like that's better.
You want to go down?
Yeah.
On who,
down.
me?
No, on my mic.
Ah, I see. Hey, Joe.
Hi, Jimmy.
Welcome to the Bruce Wayne's World, episode 61.
Yeah, 61.
Let's begin the fun.
Well, all right. So I think we should preempt as well because, again, we've just, I apologize, I guess, to our loyal listeners, all three of you, or four maybe, I don't know, but so we constantly get all right, we're gonna stick with the schedule and do this and that, and then people, I've gotten quite a few messages, hey, then the episode's not up again, and there's some confusion, and this time I guess we were both so just explain to people how this works. Usually, we try and record as late or as... All right, let me work backwards.
We record the weekend before we're supposed to debut.
Well, we work through for Dusty and the Batman universe, right? He hosts our podcasts, and others. So he controls the hosting and, the website and all that. So he dictates what day it gets put up, which is Thursday. Also dictates when it's due, the deadline, which is Tuesday, or is it Wednesday morning? You'd usually do.
I mean, it's used to be Tuesday. So Tuesday, no, it's really Tuesday night because I can get it in really early Wednesday.
So, but I guess he wants it a day early to just make sure we're not just going on we're sticking to Batman and not going on Mel Gibson diatribes or something.
So, but yeah, bottom line, and this is my fault, if I get it in late,
it goes 2 weeks.
Correct.
Yeah.
So.
And then, you got to think about, so then we try and record Saturday or Sunday so that Jimmy still has a day or two to edit it. And I have some time to, I'll write the synopsis usually, or I'll do the album art. And it's kind of just a rush. And if one of those things falls behind or if anything happens in between that time and that time, then it's not an hour late. It's 2 weeks late. Yeah. So that's what happens.
So an hour can actually make something that late.
But on the plus side, I'm pretty sure about this. I believe you talked to, unless something got lost in translation. So our last episode got dropped late, which was last week. And this episode should follow the following week, the next Thursday.
You are getting basically back-to-back weeks of Bruce Wayne's World right now.
Yeah. So it makes sense. It's we're doing a two-parter Dark Knight, so you don't have to wait as long. Feels like our levels are a little low.
It looks a little weird. Why don't we...
That's what happened. Apologize. We'll try harder. It'll get better.
What it looks like, though, has been happening recently is that we are getting very close to being back on our regular schedule. So I think we've been meeting on time.
I'm going to open up this Garbage Pail Kids final figure that I got.
So Joe is transitioning. He got some sealed Funko Garbage Pail Kids figures, which I saw, and I wanted to open it immediately because I loved the Garbage Pail Kids when I was growing up.
I had to run errands, and then I treated myself with this.
How much are those? $8 a pop?
I feel... they were $5, I think. $5-$6 maybe.
Do you remember before you opened that, or while you're opening it, there was another random toy in the 90s.
I love that smell. That smell of new toys.
Oh my god, that toxic,
I love it.
If
they had a cologne or a room.
You want to smell that again?
Yeah, a room spray that smelled like that, I would buy it in droves, man. I love that smell. It
smells like opening up a new toy.
Yeah, right.
Because that's what
it reminds me of Christmas.
You're opening up plastic bubble on an action figure.
Ooh, it's the doc. Wait, is he even on the back of the packaging? He is. I got Brainy Brian. Watch, I get the same guy in the next one. He's fucking Brainy. I love the garbage.
What's inside of these?
I don't know, you just crack it open. I think there's chocolate in it.
You can't sell that in the... Or no, you can't put a toy inside chocolate in the United States.
Oh, choking hazard?
Right.
But you can put chocolate inside a toy.
Probably.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, peel off his skin. It's chocolate. Don't peel off his skin.
What is that, though?
Ooh, it's a pimply guy. Look at that guy. What's his name? I like the other. It had that guy. This is Corroded Carl. I don't know if there's a Joe, I don't know, or a Jimmy with an I.
There's for sure Jimmy, and all those cards, they had 2 names on them.
Yeah. Oh, no. Did they all have
I
them?
think for
I don't think all of them
definitely
did.
a while they did.
Yeah. I know some of them did, but I don't think all of them had it. Right? I'm fairly certain. Oh, his head moves. I know there's the other one. He has the explosion, so he comes like normal, and it's 2 pieces. Oh, maybe does. Why is it?
Well, no,
like
because
that?
That's his brain has been like cut open. Oh, is it his brain rattling around in there?
Brainy Brian. No, it does show that his look on the back of the packaging.
Oh, his top comes off.
Yeah, let me do this.
His brain's in there, Joe.
There's a brain in here. This is cool.
Brain.
Look at it. His brain comes out of his head. My kid's gonna play with these. She wants to see the new Justice League movie coming out. We gotta plan when we're gonna go see it.
Daniel wants to see it Thursday at midnight. I can't go that late. I can go to an earlier show. So if he gets cut,
I have Thursday
from
off.
work. I do too.
So let's go fucking early.
If he says he has to see it at midnight, I'm just saying sorry. Let's go early.
Let's go early.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can you get a car?
Probably not. We'll talk about that later.
Yeah. Oh, look at his brain.
I steal cars on the
Now
side,
I see what
guys.
you're talking about, but I can put chocolate in here now. I'm sorry for diverting. Sometimes I love Batman, but sometimes I'd like to talk about
Yeah,
other
we like
things.
to nerd out. So I was saying in the 90s, there was these random toys you can get. I forget what they were called, but they came in these trash bags. And they were like plastic that dissolved in water. So you would put the trash bag in the water, the bag would dissolve, and you had your random toy inside.
That sounds familiar.
Yeah.
I mean, I know they had a lot of those dinosaur eggs and stuff like
Yeah,
that, but that
yeah.
sounds familiar.
All that early 90s crap. There was these
Yeah, or 80s and 90s,
pigs
really.
versus goats or something. Or do you remember Army Ants?
I
There was
remember
red and blue.
Battle Beasts. I have a couple of those.
I don't remember Battle.
You don't remember Battle Beasts?
Do you remember Food Fighters?
Look over in my display case right now. You don't remember Battle Beasts? No, you're not going to see it. They're tiny as hell. I think it's on the bottom shelf. Let me look. Sorry, we're both walking away from the microphones. There's the tiniest thing in the bottom shelf. Yeah, you don't remember those?
I don't.
Yeah, someone not. You tell. Hey, write us a 5-star review and tell us if you remember Battle Beasts.
I remember the wrestling ones that were all pink. What were those called?
Well, there's even those are still around.
Yeah. They're based off of luchador
what are
wrestlers.
they called? No, someone's shouting in their phone right now. They're like muscle heads or something like that.
I think it may have just been
Muscle Men. Yeah, Muscle.
Yeah.
No, Muscle Men. Yeah.
Was it not in
I mean, they were fine, but they weren't as cool as Battle Beasts. I love Battle Beasts. And
Army
Mad
Ants was
Balls.
my shit.
Mad Balls. I love Mad Balls. You see, also, that's what I got recently is they got Jason and Leatherface Mad Balls.
I saw.
And they had a Freddy one.
Freddy
too.
one.
They
I
do.
saw the Freddy one at a Best
I'm
Buy.
not a big fan of Freddy. I like
that's
the
where you
first
and I
one, the
differ.
third one. I mean, Freddy's Dead's got
Dude, I
parts,
love the
or not
second
Freddy's
one
Dead,
too,
but
man.
I do. I that one gets, but I think I love it because it's so gay.
It's all
And I don't
those
mean gay in a
undertones,
derogatory way.
And they're
I mean, it's
actually
gay.
overtones.
Right,
The
yeah.
director said,
Right, yeah.
I wrote some
Yeah.
gay stuff in there.
But and then the New Nightmare is got moments, but the kill count is way too
I hate
low.
New Nightmare.
I like
think
the
it's so
idea,
lame.
and it preceded Scream and all that other stuff, and it's very meta.
It was.
But
it was
the glaring flaw, in my opinion, outside of Freddy's leather pants and all that other shit, is it's the kill count. Kills at least 4 other people in that movie. There's 3 people that die in that movie, I think. Maybe not 4, 3. There's got to be 3 of her. I'm not gonna get into it, who died.
You're saying there's too little?
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's a fucking slasher flick. Come on, what the hell? But hey, you know what? I got these garbage.
Robert
podcasts
Englund,
for me.
please come back and do one more.
So hey, if you want us to talk about things other than Batman outside, if you want to hear what my top 10 slasher flicks are, give me a 5-star review on iTunes and say, hey, I want to hear, or hey, stick to Batman. 5 stars.
No one gives
And I
a
will do that.
shit about your favorite
Yeah,
slasher
shut the fuck
flicks.
up and get about Batman.
After Halloween, Joe was showing me some stuff, and I was showing him stuff, and yeah, we both like horror, so...
I would do a horror podcast, or
Yeah,
just a movie podcast and talk about it. What's that? The YouTubes? The YouTubes, isn't that? That's the hip happening thing
The
amongst the kids?
YTs.
Yeah. Hey, so I got this. I paid way too much for this Meet the Justice League Hollywood Spotlight thing. I thought it was Entertainment Magazine, but it's not. I don't know.
Yeah, I've never heard of Hollywood Spotlight.
Neither
but
have I.
this is nuts.
I've never
There's
heard
no
of
ads in it.
magazines.
I still get There's a newsstand on my
Okay, so
corner.
just to preface, I'm going to derail slightly a little bit, not too much.
Magazines are a published periodical.
So I picked this up because, was it 2 weeks ago? There was this big, People Investigates, and I've probably ranted a couple times on this podcast about the East Area Rapist. I'm fascinated about that case, Golden State Killer. So People Magazine had a spread. He's finally, these cases are 40 years old, and finally people are knowing who he is. He really, and they had new information. So I really wanted to pick up this magazine on the day it came out. And so I went to work and I had a little bit of downtime. I thought I would just go to 7-Eleven or something, or Walgreens. And as I started realizing, they don't have magazines. I remember distinctly, and this may be telling my age, a magazine aisle. There were magazines, right?
And it's
not
half,
even.
It's half crossword puzzle books too.
I remember that, but not even a shelf. Most places either didn't have it, or they had the little turnstiles, not the big turnstiles that were floor. They're just on the counter, impulse buy type stuff.
Joe, Walgreens had a very vast magazine selection. I know this because as a kid, I had my parents buy me 4 different
Cracked,
video
Mad,
game magazines a month. Cracked, Mad.
I mean, anytime a Batman movie came out, I would pick up all the Mad and just the movie specials and all that stuff. I think it was on the 5th place I went to. I finally found the magazine, and then this one I picked up along the way, and I paid way too much for it because
Barnes and Noble still has a pretty vast magazine selection.
There's no Barnes. I know, Barnes and Noble would have been a sure thing if there was one by. I ended up finding it at Target, and I went to CVS, Walgreens, Jewel, and then I forgot.
I would not have even tried any of those.
I just kept going down whatever the road and just stopping at places.
The long road.
The street I was on. But yeah, magazines. They don't exist really.
The fact that I still go to a Barnes and Noble by my work and an actual newsstand on my corner makes me kind of live in a bubble about that. But you're absolutely right.
Does the guy say extra?
I mean, the neon sign says out-of-town papers on it.
Do you flip a coin at him? Just grab a paper and just flip a coin with your thumb at him, and it falls on the sidewalk. And he's like, "Hey, Jimmy."
Yeah.
And he's like, "Hey."
Then I do 1,000 more quarters because magazines are $15 nowadays.
Hey, you hear about that bank rob, that cat burglar out there? Hey, watch cats. Might burglarize them. Anyway, hey, so first of all, I did want to print. It's okay. It goes, through the history of each individual member of the Justice League, people that aren't. There's nothing really new in here. I mean, it does come out and say Superman will be back in the Justice League movie. It says definitively he's not just going to be dead.
Fucking spoiler alert.
I'm back. You know what? Everyone knows that. So I did want to point out that there was one I was reading the Batman one, and the let's see who wrote this part of the article. It doesn't say right now, unless I'm who cares? But he was like,
you should care. It should be right there in the title page. Journalism's gone to shit.
Yeah, spelling errors and all that shit's not here.
Unless it's the same writer for everything.
Yeah, it could be. But anyway, he got it wrong. He said that the Adam West Bill Dozier TV show came out due to the success of the movie. And I'm reading this, no, it didn't. The movie,
the 66 film,
yeah,
but
the movie
it
came out of the success
right?
of the TV show.
Exactly, it was between seasons 1 and 2.
Right, but right, and because while they had the downtime, and they're like, all right, well, whatever.
It's the same production value as the show.
They said it reversely,
like a 4-parter.
Reversely, but they were wrong.
Idiots.
So stupid. Pissed me off. I almost ripped this magazine. But they had a nice little remembering Adam West.
That's cool.
And they talk about all the live action iterations of all the members of the Justice League. So, if you have an embarrassingly amount of money that you want to spend on a magazine, it's okay. I know it's hard, but it's got a quiz, and I figured Jimmy and I could take this quiz, and you could take it at home.
Pop a quiz, hotshot.
Well, do
you want to just say it as we go, or do you want to write our answers down? Just go quick.
If we disagree, we'll
sure.
Okay.
Oh, it's multiple choice?
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. Question 1. The Justice League was created after which 2 heroes were revamped and given new secret identities, powers, and origins?
Flash and Green Lantern.
Yes, Flash and Green Lantern. The other choice, Batman and Aquaman and Green Lantern and the Flash and Wonder Woman. Yeah, I mean, you at home, you didn't really get a chance to play along. Jimmy had to shout over your head and be like, "Oh, teacher, I know it. But hey, all right." Question 2.
Oh, is your thing beeping again?
No. I'll get into it. The first home base for the super team was on the coast of what New England state? A, Maine, B, Massachusetts, C, Connecticut, D, Rhode Island.
That's a good one.
It's Rhode Island.
Is it Rhode Island? Yeah. Okay. Yep.
Want to check? Do you not believe?
No, let's
do you
just
have a convert? If you have an answer,
I'm deferring to you on that one.
I'm pretty certain.
Idea.
But hey, write down.
I am.
Why don't you write down all our answers that way? Because if I look at the answers, just write the. No, okay. Number 1 was C.
Okay.
You're gonna need more room. Number 2 is D.
Okay.
Oh, it's not your pad of paper, so you're free to use 2 pages. Paper doesn't grow on trees.
Paper doesn't grow on trees.
Yeah.
Yes, it does. It's
Shut up, Jimmy. 3. What hero appeared in the new Justice League movie is not a founding member in the original 1960 comic book? Cyborg is not on here. So let me read this again. What hero appearing in the new Justice League movie was not a founding member in the original 1960 comic book? Justice League. A, Aquaman. B, Batman. C, The Flash. D, Wonder Woman. I think it's Batman.
It's got to be Batman.
Yeah, everyone else was on there. I think Batman was by himself. Didn't do it.
So, like...
I don't think even Superman was in the original Justice League.
I think they were like... I don't know if they were founding members, but they like showed up once in a while. But hold on. Because, I mean, they definitely fought like
World's
Starro.
Finest.
They were World's Finest.
Right, but originally... Like the first iteration.
I agree with you though, because
Aquaman,
you were Flash, Wonder.
Unless Cyborg was on there, then you'd be arguing with me about it.
Cyborg didn't exist until
right, 1960.
Could it be Wonder Woman?
I'm saying Batman, but if you want to put a different answer, that's fine.
Let's go with Batman.
Okay. Why did I just jump on my bandwagon? Fine. You're gonna ride my coattails to a perfect score. That's fine. 4. How many actors have portrayed Batman in live-action serials, movies, or TV shows? A, 5, B, 6, C, 7, D, 8.
2 serials.
Richard Lowry, Lewis Wilson, right? Where's Lewis? Yeah, well, whatever. The 2. Adam West, Michael Keaton, then Val and George. Christian Bale, and Ben Affleck.
So it's 7. Or it's 8. I'm sorry.
Yeah, 8. D. Right? We didn't miss any. No. Live action. 5. Sure, Barry Allen fights crime as the Flash, but he also has to find a way to pay his rent. What is his day job? Let me read. Don't claim me going on my shoulder. I can't even answer it because you already looked at the answers.
I don't know what the answers are.
And you're already reading the next question. A, crime scene investigation. Okay, we don't really need to go farther than that. B, police detective. C, gym teacher. D, chemistry professor. Okay, it's crime scene investigator. But it's not really a police detective, but unless you think.
Wasn't he, he's a chemist.
Right, but for the police department.
So it's crime scene investigator.
He wasn't a chemistry professor.
You're right.
Yeah.
He's not Reed Richards.
Yeah. Hey, you don't have to always ride my coattails. You can diverge.
Hey, if I strongly disagree, I'll fucking say it, Joe.
This guy's got white heads.
To be at a meeting at 8 a.m. this morning, so I'm ready to argue.
Okay, good. 6. Jerry Siegel and Joe Shuster, the 2 men who created Superman in 1938, originally hailed from which Midwestern city? A, Cincinnati. B, Chicago. C, Cleveland. D, Detroit.
I'm almost positive it's C. In fact, I remember, Ohio wasn't sure in Cleveland, but I would cede to you on that one. I'll ride your coattails on that one. Stop riding those. Yeah. They're not going to get you very far.
7. During a subplot in the 2nd season of the HBO comedy series Entourage, Vincent Chase was the star of an Aquaman movie directed by which Oscar-winning filmmaker? A, Steven Spielberg. B, James Cameron. C, Martin Scorsese. D, Quentin Tarantino.
It's B.
Yeah, James Cameron. And the only reason I know that because I read that in one of the articles in here.
I had friends who used to watch it and were bringing that up to me because they knew I like comics, and I tried watching a episode of Entourage.
Yeah, I tried watching a episode.
This is Sex of the City for men.
I don't know.
It's
slutty men that are dumb. I don't know. I don't get it. Hey, you're forgiven if you like Entourage, okay? 8. True or false? Okay, 50-50 shot here, Jimmy. Let's bring it home. Among the strange powers Superman has possessed over the years are super ventriloquism, super breath, and the ability to breathe underwater. True. I mean, usually, even if I knew nothing about Superman, just the way the phrase something.
In the 50s powers like every issue, you know? So
9. When the Justice League was created in 1960, it had 5 members. 3 of them, Aquaman and the Flash and Wonder Woman. Okay, see, that's already answering the first question. So that's why I'm an excellent test taker. Yeah. It's like often they do things like this, so they'll answer their own question later on.
Test for a new product at work, and like I was semi-right with the first one, and then got to like a later question. I'm like, oh, you just answered the first one for me.
That's why I try and explain to people, like, I'm not bragging, like, I'm a good test taker. That doesn't mean I'm smart.
Deductive reasoning,
right.
You know?
Yeah. Wonder Woman appear in the Justice League movie, and 2 of them do not. Name them. Oh, okay. So we got when Justice League appearing. Five members. 3 of them are appearing. Green Arrow and Green Lantern is A. B. Green Lantern and Martian Manhunter. That's not it.
Are you sure?
Martian Manhunter and Black Canary. D. Black Canary and Hawkman.
It's B.
Martian Manhunter wasn't around.
Yeah, he was.
He wasn't in the original. He wasn't in the original Justice League.
Are you sure? I really want to think he's B. Green Arrow was not. I'm sticking by this one.
So that was Green Lantern. Well, they Black hair. There's not Green Arrow and Green Lantern?
No.
Maybe you're right. I don't know, because I know, like,
if I'm wrong,
I know Martian Manhunter was added as specifically for Justice League.
I don't think. Well, like as a character?
Yeah, like he didn't have his own running.
But Green Arrow, I know, was not on that team.
Green Arrow was on. Oh, in the original one?
Yeah.
He was on
it's Martian Manhunter.
All right, fine. B. I agree. D. Wait, 10. Sometimes I call 10D. It's kind of quirk.
Confuses a lot of people when he's...
when I'm saying my social security number and everything. My phone number. Wow.
Writing checks to people.
Yeah. D $100. While Gal Gadot was the first actress to play Wonder Woman on the big screen, how many other actresses have starred in live-action television projects featuring the heroine?
It's at least 3.
Okay, yeah. It doesn't say it could be a pilot. So I know there were 2 failed pilots.
So there was the Justice League failed pilot, and then the other failed pilot where I forget who played her. I know Elizabeth Hurley was in it as the villain.
So, obviously there's Linda Carter. Then there was the TV movie that preceded Linda Carter. There was a blonde chick.
Oh, really?
Yes. Then there was in like 2011, there was a failed Wonder Woman pilot.
And then there was a Justice League failed pilot. I know.
But in looking at the Justice League in this book, they didn't even mention that.
But
So I feel like even if it is, she was in the Justice League pilot, right?
Yeah. It was her, Green Lantern, Flash, Adam, and... I
don't remember what her costume looked like, though, because I remember Flash, Green Lantern.
The Adam, like, shrunk down and, like, a cat almost ate him or something.
All right, so if we say 4, which is B, well, A is 3, B is 4, C is 5, D is 6, B is 4, and they come back at us with A is 3. I think it's one of those instances where we're right and they're wrong.
I'm going to say it is 4, though.
Yeah, I think so, too. But I think they're wrong. And we'd have to look up that Justice League pilot. I'm pretty sure. I don't remember her in it, but I think, well, how could you not have her in it?
She was in it.
Okay. 11. What famous animation studio produced the legendary Superman cartoons of 1941 and 42, which helped boost the popularity of The Last Son of Krypton? Really? Okay. A. Max Fleischer. B. Walt Disney. C. Warner Brothers. D. Hanna-Barbera.
We don't even have to
say
it.
That one. Come on, people. 12. Wonder Woman. You know, my kid, reading her Alice in Wonderland, she calls it Alice in Wonder Woman Land. She likes Wonder Woman. She knew about Wonder Woman before. I think it's funny. My kid, you're dumb. But it's cute.
Alice in Wonder shows in Land would be creepier.
Wonder Woman was the first female member of the Justice League of America. Who was the second? So what? A. Hawkgirl, B. Vixen, C. Zatanna, D. Black Canary.
I really want to say C.
You think so? I think it's got to be
either her or Black Canary.
Yeah, because Hawkgirl was like, it was Hawkman, but she came in. But did she come in later than Black Canary?
I think it's Zatanna.
Do you think Zatanna's the first female member of the Justice League?
After Wonder Woman.
See, I think it's got to be between Hawkgirl and Black Canary.
Do we split here?
Or we can just do two answers. I don't know.
I'm saying
Zatanna?
I am. That's C, right?
Yeah.
And you're saying...
What's your proof for that? I don't know.
Like, I'm not looking any of this up. I'm going off of...
I'd say maybe Black Canary. Or was she Justice Society?
So a lot of those characters became members of the JSA, but that was like later. That was like retcon stuff.
Yeah.
Like, well, not retcon, but pre-Crisis.
Do you remember Zatanna being in the 60s?
I remember her being definitely in the 70s.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I would think Black Canary or Hawkgirl would be before that. I'm just going to throw it Black Canary D. I don't know. Could be wrong on this one. I don't know.
I'm sticking by Zatanna.
Okay. Could be right. I don't know. 13. Victor Stone, better known as the cybernetic hero Cyborg, first appeared in the comic books as a member of what super team? A. Doom Patrol, B. Omega Men, C. Justice League, D. Teen Titans.
D?
Yeah. 14. The Flash's father, Henry Allen, is in jail for a crime he did not commit. What is that crime?
Oh my God.
A. Murder, B. Medical malpractice, C. Bank robbery, D. Selling government secrets. The A. Murder of his wife, right?
That's what I thought it was, yeah.
Which is a recent Jeff Johns thing. It's not really. 15. Which of these four actresses never played the role of Catwoman on the big screen?
Remember that one question you gave me? It was like, how many live-action Catwomans were there?
Yeah, I do remember that. A. Halle Berry, B. Julie Newmar, C. Anne Hathaway, D. Michelle Pfeiffer.
Wait, what? What is it? On the big screen?
Mm-hmm.
It's Julie Newmar.
Right.
Yeah. Which one was that?
B. I'm trying to throw you for a loop there. You're like, I know? Are they not counting? Okay. 16. Aquaman is the result of a human man falling in love with a woman from Atlantis. What did Aquaman's land-loving father do for a living? A. Coast Guard officer, B. Fisherman, C. Lighthouse keeper, D. Lifeguard.
Oh my God. I think it's B or C.
It's C.
Is it?
Yeah. But you can write B down.
No. I said B or C. I
17.
didn't know that you were that big of an Aquaman fan.
I'm not, but I thought everyone knew that.
Oh.
It even has the lighthouse. See, like where it says.
You're right.
And 17. In some comic book. Wait. In what some comic book fans insist is no mere coincidence, Batman's and Superman's mothers share the same first name. What is it?
I don't know. They never said this in any movie, did they?
Why did you say that name? Why did you say that name?
Which one's Martha?
C. Or it could be Laura or Nora or Eleanor.
Save Eleanor.
18. Steppenwolf, the primary villain in the Justice League movie, is the uncle of what monster bent on total domination of the universe? A. Doomsday, B. Thanos, C. Kenjaro, D. Darkseid.
The Darkseid.
The Darkseid. Which has got to be awkward that your nephew is your boss, you know? I mean, it's bad enough when you got a younger boss.
Yeah.
When your nephew is your boss and such a prick too, that got to be awkward.
And then he fires you, and then you have to live with him because you can't afford your rent anymore.
Worlds and whatnot. There's got to be some animosity there. 3 actors. Wait, this is 19. 3 actors. Jack Nicholson, Heath Ledger, and Gerard Leto have played the Joker on the big screen and all have won Academy Awards. How many combined Oscars have they won?
Oh my God.
A3, B4, C5, D6.
So hold on. Leto has the one for Dallas Buyers Club, right?
Yeah, he's one.
Heath Ledger has one. How many does Nicholson? You have one Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest?
I think he's got another one.
Does he have one for like...
Because I thought he had maybe Chinatown. Like, do you have two back-to-back?
Maybe.
I think that's what it is.
He doesn't have one for The Shining, I don't think, right?
No. And I don't think anything like Witches of Eastwick.
What about like As Good as It Gets, or that one that he did with...
Maybe
with there was the naked. What's her? Gosh,
I just as a guess. I think he has two. I think.
Start saying 4.
I think so. If you want to say something different, I'm not pressuring you. I think 4. B. 20. Lois Lane is a renowned journalist. Which other Justice League member's companion is also a well-known journalist? A. Batman. B. The Flash. C. Wonder Woman. D. Cyborg.
Is it Vicky Vale?
Which other Justice League member's companion? Is that what they're calling, like, a love interest? I mean, companion.
Well, it's not C.
Wait, no, The Flash. Iris West is a journalist, too. So, what? Batman, Vicky Vale? Like, I mean, but I guess...
Yeah, but that's like one of, I guess...
Yeah, Batman gets around.
Yeah,
He's definitely got syphilis or something.
There's not like a Carol Danvers or a Lois Lane for Batman. You have a few choices, so that's why I'm leaning towards B.
Well, Wonder Woman.
But I think maybe should have put a different character for A.
Yeah, Cyborg. Yeah, I guess. I don't know. What's another one? I think that they're wrong. If we're right, or if we're wrong, they're wrong. That's what I'm saying.
All right, answer time.
The answer to number 1 was C. And that was Green Lantern and the Flash. To number 2 is D, Rhode Island. Told you, Jimmy. 2D. 3 was B. That was Batman. Yeah, see? That was another one, right? Yeah, you read my questions. Let's see if I get wrong at 4. C.
Ooh, what was 4?
How many actors have portrayed Batman in live-action series, movies, or TV shows? Wait.
And what's C?
7.
D.
The 2 serials, that's 1, 2, how many?
They should be naming the actors there.
Because they even say live action serials, movies, or TV shows. There's the
2 serials.
2 serials. Adam West, Michael Keaton, the other 2 dipshits, Val Kilmer and George, Christian Bale and Ben Affleck. That's 8. That's D. I mean, if they called it 9...
And wait, is it Bruce Wayne or Batman?
Batman. Okay. Because I guess they could say Gotham and then it would be 9.
And then it would be 9, right, but it's not. No, it's definitely, they have that one
They got that wrong. See these people? Don't try and like...
I'm putting a check with a star there.
Right, because that was number 4, right? I just want to make sure. How many actors? 4. It says 4C. They're wrong. What fucking bullshit. Don't like give me answers and be wrong. I told you. 5 is A. Crime scene investigator. We got that right. 6 is C. Cleveland, Ohio. Okay. 7 is B. James Cameron, yeah. 8 is false.
Ooh, which power did he
But now I don't even trust him. Superman can hold his breath for... I know he has ventriloquism. I've heard that one. He hold his breath for a long time, but can't actually breathe underwater. He doesn't have gills like Gillman.
I guess that's true, because he can't in space either. Like, he can hold his breath for a while.
But really, I mean, that's kind of like semantics. Like, if I could survive a day without oxygen, I would call it like breathing without oxygen. Right? I mean...
Well, you're not breathing, you're just surviving. You're surviving.
But that's what... I mean, that's the point of breathing. Right? I mean, if you can still survive without breathing...
But for how long? Not indefinitely.
Well, a long time. He's hold breath for long... Okay, whatever.
I could see how
I'm still pissed off at them by getting their own questions wrong. 9. 9 is B. Green Lantern and Martian Manhunter. Get that right?
I did. That's the one that
yes, we did.
That we first kind of tussled about.
I agreed ultimately. Let's see. 10 is A. 10 is A3.
So we put B or A question mark?
What was... Okay. 10 is Gal Gadot is the first actress. How many other... Yeah, because of because I thought they were going to say 3 because they didn't reference that.
So that's another one that's technically...
They're wrong again. And we can double check that, but I think everyone listening can follow our logic too. We counted the live action interpreted, and they specifically said serials. Like some people maybe not count the serials, and that would be like right. They specifically said serials, television, like so they kind of put themselves in a trap there. 11 is A. Max Fleischer. Oh, that was a close one.
This is the only one that we have 2 separate answers. Is
12 is D. Black Canary.
You were right.
13, D. Teen Titans. 14, A. Murder. 15, B. Julie Newmar. 16, C. Lighthouse Keeper. 17, C. Martha. 18, D. Darkside. 19, C5.
Ooh, what was that question?
That was the Oscars.
So he must have won one for like one of those, like either...
Or Heath Ledger won 2.
Did he?
For Brokeback Mountain, right?
Did he?
Well, you should look this up. We should look everything up. I mean, I'm not certain about anything. I thought I heard, like... Because I was actually just doing a Nicholson, like, movie binge, and I was watching something, but, I mean, that could have been outdated, too, I guess. I don't really remember that. I guess he
Brokeback Mountain.
Yeah, so you got 2.
Yeah.
And we're so focused.
So I could have said the 5, thinking it was Jack Nicholson, and technically have been correct.
Yeah. See, your own stupidity could have put you ahead.
It's so dumb.
You're so stupid.
Such an idiot.
20 is The Flash. Did we get that one right? Yeah.
Which is B?
B, yes, sir.
Yeah, so we got that.
So, and that's another question that was kind of bullshit, because you could really have phrased that in a way that A could have been correct. So, if you want, come to Bruce Wayne's World for real, authentic Batman trivia. Don't try and question my knowledge of Batman and get your answers wrong. Hollywood Spotlight magazine.
So we did pretty well. You actually got one more than me. I mean, we tussled about Cleveland, but came to terms on that one.
Yeah, really
so you were right about...
We didn't tussle on Cleveland.
We came to terms. We
did not come to terms. You said it before. And I'm like, hey, I think I remember Ohio. I didn't know Cleveland.
No, I'm sorry. The Green Lantern, Martian Manhunter was the only other one.
Yes.
So you deferred to me. I should have deferred to you on the Black Canary. You were right.
Gotta know when to defer.
Yeah.
All right. You were mentioning other news, right?
So the only other... I think this is big news. So I used to...
That's what I call my junk.
Hold on, give me a second here.
My junk's big news.
Maybe to an ant.
Like extra.
I used to read a lot of Marvel and DC. And as time went on, I switched over to only DC. But when I was reading Marvel, and I guess he's like mainstream for comics, but Brian Michael Bendis did one of my favorite Marvel comics, which is like the first.
He did Daredevil and Punisher. Right?
He did Daredevil. He didn't do any Punisher. Yeah, he did New Avengers.
I love his Daredevil. Yeah.
He did Ultimate Spider-Man, Jessica Jones, which was under the Max imprint. That might be what you're thinking of?
Yes, that's what I'm thinking of.
That's like his early stuff. That's all, to me, really good.
I have some of his Daredevil and his Jessica Jones.
He doesn't have any Daredevil. And,
Bendis has Daredevil.
No, he doesn't.
Wait, he has Punisher, not Daredevil?
Correct.
I thought you just said that he has not Punisher.
He doesn't have Punisher.
You just said, I said Daredevil, and then I just said, are you purposely messing with me?
I don't know what you said, or I thought you were joking. He does have Daredevil.
He
took over after. You said Punisher.
All right, well, hold on. Maybe am I misspeaking again? All right, let's pause it right now and look back, because I could have sworn I was just saying I love his Daredevil, and you're like, he doesn't have Daredevil, and then I just said, then I'm like,
okay,
go back and look.
It's been a long day, folks. I don't remember when I said Daredevil 3 times.
You were going back. I was like, you're. It was like not unintentional gaslighting. I was like, he was like. Well, you guys listen to it, right? I'm like, I think, did he do Punisher? No, he didn't do Punisher.
I thought for whatever reason,
I like his Daredevil. He didn't do Daredevil, he did Punisher. Wait, I thought you just said he did.
I obviously meant the exact reverse.
Yeah. Yes.
Anyways,
I like his Daredevil.
It's very
Jessica
good.
Jones.
And I was about to say he picked up after Kevin Smith anyway, so I
Was it after
clearly
Kevin
knew.
Smith?
Yes, clearly knew what I was talking about, but
You were arguing
was
with yourself for a while there.
kind of. It was like duck season, rabbit season almost. Then he went on and he did some other like new X-Men or whatever. Did a lot of X-Men books, a lot of stuff that I didn't read that I don't know if it was super well received or what, but news is he's moving to DC, which I think could be really good.
They didn't say who he's taken over.
No, he did not say who he's taken over. It's not clear.
I think he'd do an excellent Batman, especially if he brought over that artist. I don't know who did the
Gary
art.
Frank?
That on Daredevil.
Oh,
It kind of had like a Darwin Cook feel to it or something, or like not the guy from Mad Men. I don't know if it's the same guy, but it felt like Mad
Mike
Men.
Allred?
The artist.
Yeah.
I guess, yeah. I always forget his name.
He tweeted an image of a pile of graphic novels that he's reading that included like a lot of Superman, a lot of Justice League, Gotham Central, a Teen Titans book, and to me, which is really interesting, is Jeff Johns' Green Lantern Omnibus.
Do you think he's doing Justice League?
I think Justice League or Superman are the two obvious ones.
Well, why would he be reading Gotham Central then?
Just to acclimate himself to DC, so he can, whatever. But,
I guess. I'd like to see him do Batman. Get that, like... I always thought, like...
He's good with street-level stuff like Daredevil.
Yeah.
And
Jessica Jones.
So...
And Punisher.
I think, for that reason, maybe he could bring Nightwing into the mainstream.
True, yeah.
He's really good with kind of, not reinventing, but he brought Spider-Woman into the New Avengers, and she was like a D-lister, and he made her pretty mainstream for a while. So whatever he's writing, I will definitely pick up the first arc of. So
okay, you do that, Jimmy.
Okay.
Do you have anything else?
No, that's it.
Okay.
Brian Michael Bendis to DC. That's like Marvel's
cool.
like biggest writer.
Yeah,
going to DC.
Fuck you, Marvel.
When Jeff Loeb moved from DC to Marvel, it was a big deal too. Unfortunately, I didn't really like anything he did with Marvel.
Who? What did you say?
Jeff Loeb. After his son died, he like took a break from comics and then left DC.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I hear horror stories on both sides of the spectrum.
That like one company's really hard to work for. Yeah.
Whatever. I could totally understand, like, even someone just being like writing for DC and like, I'd like to delve into other characters, or the contrary. It doesn't, But yeah, that's good. Like I said, I enjoy his work. I have some of his library, his collection. So, cool.
Crazy question that people are thinking. So he has, Crazy Quilt. He has so Marvel has a creator imprint called Icon, and he has powers is through that. So that's like a creator-owned book that Marvel publishes under its own.
Right.
Like,
yeah. I haven't read that, but yeah.
I've read some. It's pretty good, but like, where is that going to stay with Marvel? Like, questions like that need to be.
Well, I'd imagine stay with Marvel. Well, okay.
Under Icon, which is creator-owned comics.
Right.
So like he gets he gets a lot more money is what that means.
Right, right. Yeah, it depends on the kind. Like, I guess, I don't know. They might say he can't take it anywhere else. Like, that could be a stipulation of his contract, creator owned, or it could mean like that they have to pay him residuals if they keep the characters at Marvel, right? I mean, I don't know. I'm not a legal lawyer, but I could see either one of those options being potentially correct.
Yeah, good for comic news. I hope.
Or he could take the characters to DC. I don't know, and that could be a part of the agreement. Any one of those three. Or the Earth could crumble and fall apart, and we can fall into a vast abyss.
The worst possible day for that will probably be the day before Star Wars Episode 9.
Yeah, I just hope, I haven't been as excited about the Justice League movie as I feel like I should be, but there's been a lot of disappointment. As much as I like Batman v Superman, I hated it the first time I saw it in theaters, and I really love the director's cut. It's still flawed, don't get me wrong. And Suicide Squad was such a disappointment, and even though I liked Wonder Woman, I don't think it was amazing. Like, I liked Gal Gadot, I liked a lot of scenes. I kind of think the third act is a bit of a snooze, and it's a little bit of a rip-off of the first adventure. But it was okay. It was good. It was entertaining. But like, so I guess maybe that's why I'm kind of like DC hasn't been doing it for me, so maybe I'm not as hyped up as I would be normally. I get it. I'm gonna be there opening day. Don't get me wrong. Like, I'm not
just talking about seeing it on Thursday. So yeah. I hope it changes. I hope it re-energizes my interest in DC films.
Mm-hmm. Okay, then.
All right, so I guess maybe we might take a short break, and then we're going to get back into part 2 of the Dark Knight commentary.
Mm-hmm.
You guys have all had the pause button on. Your screens are burnt in with where we stopped.
Yeah, you're stuck with Mr. Reese is permanently embedded into your television
Freeman's
screen.
Face has been staring at you. Maybe I don't know.
I know my horrible Morgan Freeman impersonation.
That was
stuck
good.
in your head.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
I just got to do this. I'm Morgan Freeman. Andy Dufresne. Crawled through a river of shit and came out the other side.
I don't think that's very good. I can play back.
Do a Miss Daisy. What does he say to her?
I don't know. It's like, shut up, Miss Daisy. I don't know what he's saying. I think there's a lot of N-words that Miss Daisy says, right?
That's more like it, Miss Daisy.
Yeah, something like that.
Where do you want to go to, Miss Daisy? I'm Morgan Freeman.
Good. All right. We'll be back, but you won't know it. All right, guys, so part 2, The Dark Knight. We are, if you're on your menu, starting at chapter 16.
Yeah, we thought we'd be a little bit closer to the middle, but evidently not. But I guess, kind of. It was like an hour, and this movie's like 2.5 hours, so yeah. All right, I'm hitting play right now at chapter 16. We got a little bit distracted. I was showing Jimmy the remake of Maniac.
With Elijah Wood from 2012.
Yeah, originally Joe Spinell. Great horror slasher.
If you're going on a first date with a girl who doesn't like horror
highly
movies,
recommend.
Perfect.
Yes.
Just show her this film.
Yeah.
After 10 minutes, you'll know if she's a keeper or
Excellent
not.
icebreaker. How to Your Portrait of a Serial Killer, another recommend.
Spit on Your Grave.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's even tough for me to watch, I think.
Cannibal
especially
Holocaust.
when it has like the Guinness record for the longest rape scene in a movie.
Jesus,
it's not going to be an easy watch.
The reason I can't watch Cannibal Holocaust is the actual cruelty.
Anyway, this movie we're watching. So this is where
these are real cops, right?
No, I don't think so.
I think they got real cop extras.
This is still Chicago, obviously. It could be, but like this is where it gets a little bit unbelievable to me. I love Batman Daylight. He's as Bruce Wayne. It's kind of like year one. Reminiscent of. But it's a little unbelievable to me with all the police presence that the Joker is able to pull this off. I mean, I guess you have to suspend disbelief, and it is a comic book movie.
But he has some police, in with him.
True. But he's right. I don't know. I won't nitpick at this point, I guess. It's still a great scene. It's kind of got that little bit of, Batman working with the law, but outside the law and unbeknownst to the law.
I like this scene a lot. It's a big to-do. And
showcases Chicago very nicely.
It's almost unexpected, seeing, you blink and you miss it. It's clearly the Joker without makeup.
Have you ever seen, so he became kind of a meme, this image of the Joker with his facial scars and then without his makeup? And then there's all these people how dare you make fun of someone who's probably injured in a war?
What?
Yeah, you can look it up.
That has to be,
sarcastic, No. People, I guess, unfamiliar with this movie or Heath Ledger or anything, thought he was actually... Oh, someone made a joke, and it's become kind of like a meme.
Reminds me, I was at a Bad Religion show and took a picture of their image and then posted it on Facebook, and people were commenting, "Are you at a fascist rally?"
Okay,
I'm at the opposite of that.
Yeah,
it's.
This is a little unbelievable. Batman walks up to this. How does he not realize the timer's about to go off? That timer's pretty obvious, and it makes a noise. Those timers, and B, how does he time it? I guess. I mean, maybe I can buy that. But seriously, Batman, look right there. I mean, how did he set all that up and think? And okay, his henchman's right there.
You would think that the cops who aren't in on it would look and
right, how does he get away right now?
Maybe they thought he was a war veteran. Who knows?
I don't know. They catch his buddy, but Joker evades. Never, when I was in the theaters, did I believe Gordon was dead right now. No way.
Oh, you didn't?
No way. No.
The people who applauded did.
Oh, when he came back? Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
it always
gullible
gets a big
people.
response,
Never
but
would I have believed that they would have killed him.
It's cool. And
He's
I
not
think it's
even
a good
commissioner yet.
No,
like,
he's
there's no
not.
way they killed him. That if he was
Obviously
commissioner
not.
and if this happened, I probably might have bought that. But
I mean, I don't know if you're supposed to, but it's a pretty good scheme, to outsmart.
yeah, even this, like, okay, so he's got the badge. It's got his girlfriend's name, Rachel Dawes, on it. But how did they know? Like, okay, this guy's gonna get caught. Den's gonna walk up to him just for this moment where he realizes it, just to send him over the edge.
There could be other henchmen that he has that you don't see who also have the same name tag, but that's kind of
it's a little
stretching.
bit. It's a little stretching, and I'm fine with it. I'm not. It's a little bit of an. This movie started out and the movie before it started out so realistic, in my opinion.
Everything kind of
it starts tumbling right about now, and it really, in my opinion, falls apart after the Joker leaves the scene, and especially in the next movie, the reality is just is not there anymore. Like, it's ridiculous.
Well, in the last movie, they had a crazy.
We'll
thing
get there.
too.
We will get there.
Well, I mean, it begins where at the end it's
right, and
they have to evaporate the water. What if you were boiling water?
Yeah, there's slight little MacGuffins, there's slight little plot holes. I'm not saying it's a perfect, but it's a near perfect movie, and I can suspend. Yeah, I'll give this movie a little bit, even up to this point, a little leeway. That's fine. Just like Batman, get a little bit of leeway. That's fine. I mean, there's no problem calling it out for what it is. It is a little ridiculous, just like. I think Batman Begins has a lot less ridiculous with it than this movie and then the subsequent movie. Not saying I dislike either movie. Save your hate mail. Love the movies. This is pretty cool.
This just in, Joe hates The Dark Knight. This is good, and I think this is actually kind of masks his, editing. It looks good. You can tell.
Say what you will, though. With Zack Snyder knows how to make a fight scene. People bitch and bitch.
Scene.
This is nowhere near. Zack Snyder, that fight scene in Batman v Superman is hands down the best Batman fight scene we've seen in movies. It's phenomenal.
Yeah,
I get hate mail for saying that too. I don't know.
I won't bring that up right now.
We'll get to that movie, and we'll watch the director's cut, I think.
I was going to say Dark Knight Rises, but...
Oh, we'll get to that, too. We'll got another one to come out. We'll review Justice League.
This is good, solidifying, please trust this guy who put you into a sleeper hold the other night that you forgot about almost.
Yeah.
But bringing out the darkness in Harvey and what it takes to bring out his darkness.
I just don't like Aaron Eckhart very much. I don't like his acting. This is cool. All right, now we're jumping back and forth between scenes. We got is Maroni here, right? And Batman's holding him over a ledge. This fall won't kill me. I'm counting on it. You hear his ankle snap.
Yeah, it's great. Almost. It's. Same with Flash in the first one, not the same, but
it'd be kind of funnier. It'd be kind of funnier if he landed on his head and then Batman's like, "Oh shit," and just kind of does the walking backwards very slowly. Yeah. My plans. We were on the same page here. We didn't expect that phone to kill you, right? I mean, I fucked up here.
I said I'm counting on it, but you're not alive to remember that.
Yeah. And also, this with the new suit, this enters into the mouth-breathing Batman. It just gets worse and worse with every minute of this movie and the next. His voice, his mouth-breathing. I don't get how he can even run a block without being gasped.
Sounds like he's out of breath, but you got
right because it doesn't look like they bother to put nose holes in his mask, nostril holes. It looks like it's pressing down his nose, and he's just got to keep his mouth open just to stay conscious. I'm sorry, I hate that costume from this movie. He's got wearing puzzle pants, fuck me boots, and then I don't know, the helmet's cool, but
and there's no nipples. I mean, would you like that more? Or?
Frankly, I don't think this is much better than the George Clooney Batman costume. I mean, really, yes, there's nipples on it.
The first one or the second one where it's the ice?
All right,
costume?
The first one. Yes, the first one. But the nipples are less obvious than puzzle pants.
I don't like. Well, I mean, obviously he's toying with them at this point, and it's never mind what I said.
Yeah.
It's not as bad as Two-Face in Forever, where he really does keep flipping.
Batman gets to the scene, somehow realizes he's there for some reason. I don't know how he knows he's there. And yeah, doesn't realize that it's a one-headed coin. We all know, well, us Batman fans know, but no one else knows other than Harvey Dent in this movie yet. I guess Batman and Rachel will find out later. Or wait, no. Yeah, no, Rachel will find out later.
You gotta also remember that when this movie came out, I saw it with people who were not familiar and were literally, like, they had no idea he was going to turn into Two-Face. And that was like a tragedy.
Really?
Yes. Several, like,
See,
not everyone
like,
knows.
Yeah, I mean,
know?
yeah, and I get, like, even like the worst movies will make a fan out of someone. And this is definitely not one of the worst movies. Like The Shadow is a horrible movie, but it introduced me at a young age to like the character The Shadow. And so like for that, I'm thankful for that movie. You know, same thing with Dick Tracy. I do think Dick Tracy's an underrated movie, but,
people, I guess, also have short memories. It's like 12 years ago, the same character was in Batman Forever,
right? And look at that,
the biggest movie of the summer.
But I don't think we've seen a good Two-Face still to date. I was really hoping we would see one here, and in my opinion, it doesn't do Two-Face justice at all. Like, there's nothing about, he has no grand scheme. He's just got a little revenge plot going.
I like this more than just the bank robber Two-Face, though, with like the scheme of,
I would have liked,
which place am I going to be?
I would have liked to see Nolan's original vision of this is a Joker movie, the next movie is a Two-Face movie. And then, like I've said numerous times, if like next year they introduce Nolan's going to come back for one final shot at the Batman universe, and then we got Dark Knight Rises, I would probably appreciate Dark Knight Rises more. Because it'd be kind of like Kingdom of the Crystal Skull or something like that, but it wouldn't be as bad. It definitely seems like they skipped the third part in a trilogy and gave us that movie that comes out 20 years after the trilogy's over. That's what it seems like to me.
Seems like you think The Dark Knight Rises is like The Godfather 3. Yeah. Clearly, right? Yeah.
Well, and you know what? Maybe it's not as bad as Godfather 3, but a lot of movies fall into that. Like, you got two good ones, the third one fucks it up. Like, there's a lot. Like, and you can even, like, there's ones that, you know, maybe there's a huge gap between the second one and the third one. But for the most part, yeah, there's a
Terminator
lot.
3?
Yeah, this, you know, one example. No, I don't remember. You Star Wars fans, is the third one considered? No,
it's the Return of the Jedi.
Is that the least favorite of the original trilogy?
Of the original trilogy, a lot of people say it's the weakest of the three, which is wraps things up almost like too quickly.
Yeah.
So
I would say have the same criticisms about Dark Knight Rises. He's been fighting crime for 2 years, then takes 9 years off. All right, I'm sorry. I digress. We'll get into that movie.
But, good things, like this scene, anything between him and Alfred is fucking gold.
Yeah. You're right. I still say Christian Bale is the best Bruce Wayne we've seen to date, and Michael Caine best Alfred. It's just a shame that, like, Christian Bale is 6'2", like, he's Batman's height. He's just surrounded by these tall other actors, like Michael Caine and Lucius Fox, and he looks so short.
Extremely tall.
Right. Like, and, like, I mean, they're great caliber actors, but they're just, they need to put Michael Keaton, Christian Bale on a step stool or something.
They gotta get Michael Keaton in there and juxtapose him against Bale.
This scene coming up is, like, the worst acting in the movie. I'll give you the line. He should turn himself in. Like, it just sticks out so much.
Speaking extras, all of them have that.
Well, I was an extra in this one scene. I was right next to the guy, and you'll see it, like, when the boat's coming off. He did a good job.
Yeah, but you weren't saying, like, he's flying on rooftops.
I like that delivery.
That one's okay, but
this guy is horrible.
That's not good, and then that's not good.
And this scene also reminds me of the other live-action Two-Face movie, Batman Forever, when Val Kilmer is in the circus going, Harvey, I'm Batman. Harvey, I'm Batman. It's the same thing with Harvey Dent again and Bruce Wayne. This guy. Oh my God. It's like they looked at, like, Batman Forever for inspiration.
Yeah, well, but then this actually kind of almost works. You know, like, Two-Face wasn't saying I'm Batman in the fucking circus.
I'm exaggerating a bit, but that guy definitely, like, should have cut him out, his line, because it kind of brings the...
Or, like, just some,
he looks kind of like, what's his name from the Batman 89, the Alexander Knox guy. Michael, no, what's his name?
He's also Arliss.
Arliss, yeah. Arliss, and he did the some history show on HBO. Whatever. I haven't done much since the sacrifice making.
More Than a Hero.
Yeah, I don't feel like your logic there either, Michael Caine.
I mean, the whole thing is he's Gotham's White Knight, which is doing the morally right thing.
But if
Batman's
he's supposed to,
the one who's
right. But if Batman feels that he's the next savior, then shouldn't he just admit that he's Batman so Harvey Dent can continue on in his place? Or is he so worried that if he leaves too early, then the Joker is going to fuck Harvey Dent up? I guess that's the case. I don't know. Whatever. Fine. Like,
if he followed that, well,
it's very true to the comic books. Like, Batman will reveal his identity if he needs to, but something always seems to pop up.
But also at the end of this movie, and I'm jumping ahead, but you didn't know that he was going to quit, right?
Right.
Like him working.
Even at the end of the movie, I didn't know he was going to quit
That's
until
what I'm saying.
Yeah, right.
At the end of this, at the end of the third one, or
no, at the end of this movie,
right.
Until they started the second movie,
so
or
if
third movie.
He comes out and does it, he can't be Batman anymore. But in the third movie, it turns out he's not Batman.
We'll get
anymore.
to this, Jimmy. Stop talking about Dark. Yeah, okay. So this is the part where she finds out he's got a two-headed coin. Oh, Harvey, you've been pulling the wool over my eyes for years.
Years?
Years?
It's been like a
Years.
year, right?
I don't know. Something. Well, since they've been dating, I guess maybe. I don't know the timeline. Sure, hell hasn't been long enough for Batman to retire.
So the other cool thing is he clearly wasn't ever gonna kill the fake Rachel Dawes.
Didn't we know that? Or is that the reveal for the audience too, that he's got a two-headed coin? Really?
I think for a lot of people.
I guess. Oh, this is a great scene. I mean, I was here for the filming of this. Like all this stuff.
This is probably the best action sequence in the film.
Oh yeah. Like this scene got huge, almost a standing ovation, huge applause. Like we'll get to the couple moments. There's a couple moments in here that the audience went crazy for. I mean, once again, suspension of disbelief that this police force is so gullible that there's a little bit of a fire and they divert down to a lower Wacker Drive, right? But okay, fine. I mean, you'd think the police force would be like, okay, what the fuck is going on here?
They can't stop moving, right? So
I mean, you'd think that you'd be like, okay,
turn
something's
right,
going on.
then go left down the next street.
I don't know, get out of your fucking cars and point your guns everywhere. Like, they're obviously trying to funnel you in under Lower Wacker Drive. And I know you Chicagoans know out there, look at it. It's what it looks like. No one drives under Lower Wacker Drive, or you've seen Blues Brothers. It's very seedy.
And you gotta do it to get to some places, and for some parking, but I hate driving down there.
I mean, unless you're going to the Billy Goat Tavern. Back up.
Another thing that's coming up is, so this is all clear, but all of a sudden there's cars that can't move.
Right. Yeah.
I'm not trying to nitpick, but
I'll do that for you.
Oh, good.
I throw that there. I like this. It's great action. They got the semis, the garbage trucks.
Everything
the slaughter,
sense,
laughter is the best Madison. Slaughter, I love that. Very Joker-esque. And Heath Ledger's performance right here is fucking top notch. I love it. This is definitely one of the best scenes in this movie.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If you follow the
so
logic
you might get about 5 minutes of radio silence while we stare gape-mouthed at this.
I might make orgasm sounds.
Oh God!
Like the Killer and Maniac. But
I mean, yeah. I think this scene or scenes like this converted a lot of casual fans into loving Batman.
For sure. Yeah. And it's also very slowly building up the comic exaggeration of Joker. What is that? A bazooka?
Yeah.
Holy shit, all of a sudden.
But it's very Joker. There's every time the Joker's on screen, I'll say this about this movie, it's like they clipped a piece of a different comic book and just put it into the movie. There's dialogue that's taken verbatim from different comic books. There's just scenes that just ring so true to this character. Unlike even 89 Batman. The 89 Batman took a lot of liberties and they made it interesting, and I love that movie still. But this Joker, even though it may not visually look like the comic book iteration, just characteristically, he is spot on.
So before the movie came out, they had that scene in the interrogation room of the Joker where he's very dimly lit, and that immediately reminded me of the
Killing
first
Joke
the first appearance of the Joker.
Oh, like
where he's
when
like
the radio.
He's in a car or something.
No, it's the radio. Like he's the first. Are you talking about comic books?
Yes.
He's talking
Batman,
on the radio, which is what he
okay.
does kind of in this too. He's like, he says it a bunch of times. Like that's definitely an homage to the first appearance of the Joker. Not
the lines he says, but the way he looks.
I would say it's more like, I mean, there's so many scenes where he's in an interrogation room and Batman pops up. Not to mention Killing Joke.
But he wasn't in. All right, never mind. I'm making a stretch. He wasn't in an interrogation scene.
I understand. Yeah. But if you look, even like, if you don't kill Mr. Reese, I'll blow up a hospital is very much like his first appearance. Like, or like even the Laughing Fish or something like that. Like, I want a copyright on these Laughing Fish, or I'm going to kill this person, or I'm going to kill this person. And every day I'm going to kill a different person. Like, that is the best Joker stories, the original Joker stories. That's what he does. Yeah, like
shit, radio silence. Yeah, no, it's great. It's just all good.
I can't emphasize enough.
So blinders on after Batman.
Like
right
this,
here.
this is the audience. I remember one of the best, theater experiences I've ever had. Like, I did, like seeing this movie in the theaters. I'd say even like the end scene of Batman Begins was one of the best movie moments. Just being a live audience. That got a lot of applause too when the Bat Pod came out of the Batmobile.
Yeah.
And it was crescendoing, like you're saying. Like this scene, definitely the audience, this really captured, the audience. Not to say that the movie wasn't thrilling up to this point, but this, like I said, crescendoed into this.
Very quick, action-packed scene where everything is coalescing.
And I remember, like, after the movie was out, like, everyone who had something to say about this movie was like, it was all from this scene, really, right here. Like,
did you see this at midnight?
Yeah.
So another thing you got to remember is...
Actually, no, I think we were standing in line. The midnight sold out, so we had to stand in line for, like, the 2 o'clock
So that's
in the morning.
even worse. So my point was that if you saw this at midnight, the scene's coming around, like, 2 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
After you've been up
It was
all day.
daylight when we got out of the theater.
So, like, your brain is just, like, trying to interpret all this stuff, and to me...
No, I will say that for this movie,
me.
like, I was not asleep at all. Like, nor was my wife or anything.
I was on adrenaline.
Yeah, I don't think even like casual fans were. Like, I think this converted. Like, my wife finally realized, like, oh, this is what you like about Batman. A lot of people were like that.
No one fell asleep in the theater.
No.
But
even though, like, we left the theater at like 4:30 or 5 o'clock in the morning. Yeah.
And you're like,
and I'd work the next day. Yeah,
you're on that almost tired, but you're just so pumped up from something that's a natural.
Unfortunately, that was not the case with the next movie, and I saw it a lot earlier.
I saw that at 7 in the morning.
Yeah.
I did get a good night's sleep. I had the same reaction.
Yeah. But great Joker, and great, it being Chicago wins here, like this, it showcases the city so well. And unlike any other movie, perhaps still Blues Brothers, that scene right there where the Batpod wheel spins, like that got applause. And this scene right here, like this was the first like standing ovation in this movie where the Batpod and they're playing chicken with the semi.
Do you applaud in movies?
Oh yeah, Batman movies, definitely. But with this semi flipped, I think people were...
They can't hear you, the makers.
Well, it was just more like a innate response. I mean, like...
That's a good point.
I was excited. Everyone was excited, even casual Batman fans. This right here...
It's the same as like almost a laugh or a
like what he rides up the wheel and then turns around.
Yeah.
People like loved it. Now this is followed up though, but I feel like overacting on Heath Ledger's part here.
Well, did he...
Like, this is fine right here.
Like, he's, like, clearly dizzy. Like, this is great.
No, this is fine. This is fine. And it's very reminiscent of 89 Batman, where he's like, come on, you gruesome son of a bitch. Come on. Come to me.
Oh, with the Batwing?
Yeah. I mean, come on. It's very...
It's almost the same thing.
Yes, the exact same premise.
He's got a big gun. This is, obviously, is that a Tom? No, it's not a Tommy gun.
No,
what is it?
It's like...
a huge revolver that somehow takes out the Batwing, but...
Oh, you're talking about that, yeah.
Yeah, I'm just comparing.
Batman yelling with his...
This one, he just aborts mission and crashes almost.
So this is where I talk about. So the guy gets electrocuted, and the Joker does a little like. It just seems like over the top. Like for someone like they try to bring it more realistic, and people talk about Jack Nicholson being a little hamming it up. Like it seems very hammy right here. And
at this point, he's finally got his prey. I mean, it's him.
I didn't buy it a little too much. Like, and then he goes,
and even then, like, give me a minute. Like, he knows he's caught, but he's just so into his prey.
Yeah, but I don't know. I just didn't like it myself. Like that one little bit, and then they're like, that's not the only part. Like the parts where he brings his fist onto this for no reason. It just seems like acting like a psychopath rather than being a psychopath. I don't think it's just more like acting. I am from Juilliard, and this is how psychopaths act, rather
Where's your psychopathic motivation?
I mean, I buy it for the rest of it, like his little nuances, the licking of the gums and all, or his inner cheeks and all his other things, his little mannerisms. I just don't buy that quick. It's like, oh, did you get possessed by a demon? I do love that they, rather than give him the Joker venom, they give him switchblades and he carves grins into people. I just wish you saw a little bit more of it. And I get you can't really show that in a PG-13 movie.
Well, Joker venom or carving carving.
Yeah. I mean, frankly, give it to us. I don't care. Like, at least give us right. That's what I would like to see, I guess. If you want to improve on this kind of Joker, improve on Heath Ledger, give us R-rated. Because if you're going to do that, and I've always, even before this movie, that's Batman Houdini, like the sequel to Gotham by Gaslight, kind of does the same thing a little bit.
Yeah, the violence in this is definitely implied.
You're right.
Almost
the pencil in the eye,
blood,
and it suffers for that a little bit because it definitely takes you out of it. And that's when those types of things. A sound effect is enough to get it to an R rating, and they obviously don't want to do that because that definitely would have hurt the sales.
You get, what, 2 fucks or 1?
Yeah,
I don't even think there is 1 in here.
There might be. I don't remember. Yeah. But
coming up, the bomb in the gut, that's gruesome. I like that a lot.
But here, again, it gets a little bit, like, the timeline's a little silly. Like, that would take way too many wheels in motion to go off as flawlessly as it does. I mean, the timing, perfect timing.
That's almost, that's worse than Rachel Dawes.
I will buy it up until this point, I guess. I mean, even Rachel Dawes, I guess he could have been timing it and let him know, and he knew exactly how long it would take him to get there, and he held out giving him the information until the exact moment. And I can buy that from the character like the Joker.
Well, that guy's also clearly schizophrenic or something too, because he says that he'd make the whatever go away and Pretty Lights Like Christmas. Like, that's not a sane person speaking.
Right. It's just that, why? I mean, the timing for that guy to get arrested, booked, put in jail, for him to have the stomach problems so that they would be looking at him.
Well, Joker knew he'd get caught here, and he had that guy in place.
I guess, but it wouldn't have done anything if he was still in the holding cell and the cops weren't all around him. It wouldn't have done that. So he had to time it so that the cops were around him, looking at him, and he had to time all this so that he would be out of his jail cell and get the phone. So at the exact same time,
it's not a time because he calls to make it go off.
Right, but if the cops weren't around him, that going off wouldn't have done anything other than kill the people in the holding cell, and he would still be in jail, is what I'm saying. Yeah. Look at it. Like, the timing is a little ridiculous. And once again, suspension disbelief, fine. But you're making me a little bit doubt a little bit more what's going on until the final act, when I'm like, all right, fuck you. And once again, save your hate mail. Still like the movie. I just think it definitely falls apart after the Joker escapes from prison here. Maybe not if there's a couple of great moments. I don't like the ship shit. And the ship shit, I was an extra in that stuff. You won't see me.
I see you right now. I see someone who hates this movie. Direct your hate mail to Joe Wapo.
So yeah, even though things like his makeup moving around, I can get that. That's fine. Continuity errors is fine. Whatever. I don't think that they would have not taken his makeup off for a mugshot. I mean, like, that's a little unbelievable, right? Like, you definitely would do that for a mugshot.
Yeah.
But
but then would that image be as cool? Maybe.
Right. And once again, sure. Because that image would be cooler, sure.
I mean, this is another example of...
But that's where I would think if he was an albino or just really pale and had a little bit of makeup, I think it would have been cooler. because then he could have taken the makeup off and he would just still be white. And it would make sense, like little things like that. And he would look cooler throughout the movie, in my opinion.
This movie almost suffers for, it does things that are really awesome and really cool, but if you start thinking about it the way that you and now I guess I am too, they start to not make as much sense.
So the problem is that he perpetuates this idea that this is a realistic interpretation of Batman. If you don't stay realistic, then, I can buy a lot more from Tim Burton's Batman because he never promised realism. And when you
two architectural styles, it's like one of the first things you see.
Right. I mean, when you give Bane a Neosporin mask instead of steroids that are injected to it and call that more realistic, that's when I started having a problem with you, Christopher Nolan.
Third movie is comic book all the way. I mean, he's flying around in a flying
so it's very... Anyway, sorry. Stay away from that movie for now. You complete me. Love it.
Well, all of this is...
Your garbage that kills for money. Yeah, this is taken from the comic books, like almost verbatim.
Yeah, and you kind of summarize the relationship in this scene.
Yes, this definitely, their relationship is portrayed nowhere better than this movie. This scene and then the ultimate scene, the final scene, yeah. Yeah.
Excuse me.
Like a bad joke. I love that Heath Ledger's Joker, like, outside of even just the Joker, has become kind of like an icon. Not maybe as much as, like, the V for Vendetta with the Anonymous, but it's almost there.
The Guy Fawkes mask, you mean?
Yeah. Well, it's particularly the V for Vendetta Guy Fawkes mask. I mean, once again, this kind of, like, punching him out in a holding cell or a interrogation room has been done dozens of times in the comic books, but we finally see it in the movies.
Heath Ledger saying, with all your strength, you can't do,
I would say, yeah, and it either more or less, like, a lot of this dialogue is, like, especially the unstoppable force meets an immovable object, like, that's from the comic books. I don't recall which one, but that, I mean, like, it definitely, even if it rings very true to the comic books. I don't think anything Two-Face says or does rings true to his character from the comic books.
That's
maybe like
the Joker is characterized much better than Two-Face, but
maybe like year one, like when that's my favorite Two-Face story, year one. But it's still like that. What I love about that story delves into like the abuse, psychological and physical abuse from his father and all that other stuff. That's what makes that book so great.
They also lifted heavily, I think, from Dark Victory and Long Halloween.
Yeah, of course.
It also reminds me.
I mean,
of
it's literally all I would say.
Harvey Dent as well.
If you love this movie, find any top 20 list of Joker stories, and I'm guaranteed you'll find some piece of dialogue they lived. And that's not a bad. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. That's great. I love it.
Yeah.
Just if you love this Joker, this is the Joker from the comic books. Just doesn't look like the Joker.
Seeing a film, I don't want a direct adaptation of any one comic. I want you to capture the essence of the character, which they did in this movie.
I mean, even if they called it Nightfall, like I would expect them to do it differently, and
Yeah, well, I mean, you get elements of Nightfall in the third one, anyways.
Yeah. Let's stop talking about the third one.
So, what do you think about this?
You know what? Like, the animated series did his origin story differently. I mean, it's been done differently so many times that
Batman versus Two-Face did it.
I have expected it to be done differently, and they kind of played with the audience expectations with that courtroom scene where the guy pulls out a gun instead of a vial of acid. Like you're expecting that to be the scene where he becomes Two-Face.
Again, if you're a comic fan, you are, yeah.
So they play with that, and then they give us this instead because it's more suspenseful. So I'm fine with it. Didn't bother me. I do love this. I want my phone call, and his dialogue right here is like I got to know your friends better than you because I killed them.
Something a fucking socio-psycho.
Right. Do you want to know which ones were cowards? And the way he delivers it is
he doesn't laugh, but he is laughing.
Oh, he's definitely pushing his buttons, and he knows what he's done. Like, he wants to get him to fight him so he can grab that piece of glass and if this is an R-rated movie, he would just shove it in his throat, if it was the Joker from the comic books. And even are you 6?
But then he wouldn't have a hostage to get his phone call that he wanted.
He wouldn't need one. He would just take the keys from his pocket and get out.
But he has to get out there to get a phone to call this guy to set the bomb off.
Well, yeah, I'd imagine the guy would have a phone in his pocket. I mean, I don't know. Like, I mean that would easily be viable enough as this. Like, I guess in movie, especially like once again the timeline is very, but it's almost believable because the Joker is almost like an omniscient character. He's like more than man. Like, he's described by some comic book creators as super sane because like he's just that level. So I buy super sane, like super sanity.
Oh, super sanity.
Right, not insane, but he's super sane.
No, I thought you said Super Saiyan, like from Dragon Ball, and you hate anime. So
I'm not getting that.
Did not say that.
But yeah, so I can buy even like the little, like I guess you'd call them plot holes, or just with this scene, fine. Like I buy
maybe
it
not
because
even plot holes, but
right,
just leaps of logic.
Right, I buy it because it's the Joker, that he could really think that much into how human beings will act and time it out so perfectly,
stuff like that. Yeah,
and that's not as noticeable unless you've watched this movie 20 times. So. Well, I'm fine with this movie up to this point, really.
Kind of like what I was getting at earlier. Like the first time you see this movie, you're just taking it all in.
Right.
And you're like, that's
but
awesome.
We're not, I mean, we're here to like critique and watch it and love it.
Yeah,
I can't just, I don't want to sit here and just say.
The 30th time I've seen it, we can.
Right. Otherwise, it would be like, this scene's great. Yeah. This scene's great.
Oh my God. Do you remember when the Joker is awesome?
Yeah. It really is a shame that he died. Because I would have loved to see his return in Dark Knight, and that probably would have changed my opinion a lot of that shall not be named.
Yeah, fuck that.
One of my favorite characteristics of the Joker is that he can take a beating and love it. That he can laugh all the way. Like, it's a very almost admirable characteristic.
Yeah, like in the comics, he looks like a fragile fucking thing, but no, he'll take punches and just be bleeding and
laugh all the way
and be laughing about it too, missing teeth and shit.
Yeah. However, that's another, like, I don't buy that this cop really can't get out of this, especially when he releases his one arm to grab the phone. You'd think that cop would have enough training to, like, grab that piece of glass from him. But once again.
Well, how do you grab glass like that?
Well, watch how he hands the phone. His arm is free right now. Like, he could easily just go under.
So you're going to grab the glass. I guess
it's not even up to his throat. It's not even, he would have a small little cut on his cheek. Come on, that's a better option.
You're going to cut your hand, but I guess that is also
that's a better option than this. Or like, I'll trust this madman won't kill me after he gets his fucking phone call.
Like, who are you going to call, Joker?
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, you got the race against the clock. And then as Gordon, I'd be like, all right, something's going on between Batman and this Rachel Dawes. He seems really upset. It's like, I got Rachel!
I think Gordon knows a lot more than he leads on.
It sure doesn't feel that way by the third movie. Batman poses a fucking, like 10-minute riddle to him, and he's like, wait, Bruce Wayne? But what?
A lot.
It's so
that was awesome.
Disrespectful to that character. No, I think that Gordon knows exactly who Batman is, and for Batman to sit there with a fucking time bomb and be like, sometimes a hero is just a person that puts a code, and one time you put a code on me, and then you change my
mind. So he says Bruce Wayne, and we're going to talk about this, but you don't know that he didn't think about it.
Yes, he did. There's nothing to make you believe he didn't. He goes, Bruce Wayne?
No, he goes, Bruce Wayne.
There's a question mark at the end of that statement, meaning that he had no idea that was Bruce Wayne. The guy that's going, Rachel, and I give Jim Gordon more credit in the comic books that he just, even like year one, like, oh no, I can't see without my glasses.
Yeah.
This is closer to like the animated series origin for Two-Face. Oh, this little, okay, so everyone's dead except the Joker. Yeah. Once again, I buy that. From this character, he's very hard to kill.
Lau is cowering in the corner the time of that mobster or villain is done.
Yeah, love it. It's kind of like, I'm really excited. Like, if they did, like, think about it, if they did a Joker, like, slasher movie. Like, if that original, like...
Dude, if the one Maniac, that's supposed to take the Scorsese produced one.
Right, dude. Like, if that would be a fucking amazing movie. Like, just made him, like, a really likable slasher killer. Oh, my God.
Likable?
I love the Joker. I love the Joker, and he's killed, like, hundreds of people by this point, and he's one of my favorite characters.
Yeah.
He makes jokes. Like, I mean, even in this movie, you like him, right? I like him. He's killed, like...
He is charismatic.
Right.
You don't sympathize with him, maybe, but yeah, of course you like seeing him on screen.
Right.
You want a villain that's fun to watch.
Right.
Jared Leto didn't do that.
No.
Darth Vader does
did
that.
not like him. He didn't say jokes. He was like honka
Freddy
honka.
Krueger does that, you know?
Yeah.
You like seeing him whenever he pops up.
Right. Even Jason or Michael Myers, like you end up rooting. That's what I'm saying. Like if you did like Joker,
you end up rooting?
Oh yeah. Especially
maybe Jason.
Okay, so my premise of a slasher movie usually is like you take like an annoying Dawson's Creek cast and you just throw a serial killer in the mix. It's a movie I wouldn't watch if my life depended on it, but you throw Jason in it to kill them. Now I'm watching. That's why, like, there's always the jerk-ass jock. There's always the prankster. There's always the slutty girl and a bunch of people. And then the final girl's the one that you actually like and doesn't die. And occasionally you get, like, a couple people that you actually like and they die and you feel bad for them. But you still end up rooting for Jason or, you know, Michael Myers the entire time. I mean, you do root for the final girl too. Like, I mean, it's a good movie.
Strongly rooting for Laurie Strode.
It depends on the movie. Like in the more like Halloween or like You're Next or something like that. Like you're rooting for the final girl.
Or I forget the girl's name, but Texas Chainsaw.
No, I root for fucking Leatherface.
Really?
Oh my god!
Dude, the fact that she gets out of that and her getting away on the truck.
Seems like going crazy.
I love it.
Sure, but you need a final girl to get away. Like you just want. I don't know.
All right, more Alfred Bruce chat.
But you think about that, like to do like kind of like Azraella's Joker, but you do like more like I don't know, like mixed with Maniac. You just watch, yeah. Oh my god.
Other people were also saying
like all the scenes.
Brought up Nightcrawler earlier too, but
like
yeah,
even if you just took this movie and showed it from the perspective of the Joker and gave it an R rating. Like where he's kidnapping the Batman wannabes and what happens when he's got the video camera and actually showing the pencil go through the guy's eye. Get Tom Savini to do the gore effects. Oh my god!
So we came a long way from. I will say I was at Diamond Comic Owners whatever convention. It was right before the first C2E2. I went to that because I used to work at a comic shop. Went to a DC panel about the animated films, and I asked them about potentially doing a Killing Joke. This was back in like 08 or 09. And they said, we have no plans to do that at this time.
Yeah,
and they eventually did it. So
horribly.
I think we're correct, but I think we're a ways away from them doing an R-rated Joker.
I'm speaking hypothetically. Make a fan film. They just did an amazing Friday the 13th fan film.
Yeah, there's also Halloween ones I saw.
Not as good as this one. If you want, it's like, I don't know. We can watch that sometime.
Oh, yeah, no, I did read about that. That was posted on the game subreddit.
Very good. Strongly, it's called Never Hike Alone, if you guys...
Yeah, I read up
God.
on that, yeah.
It's about a little under an hour. I won't spoil the ending.
No, I was going to watch it on my lunch break. I remember it was too long.
Just break it up. Oh, this guy might was saying, Rachel! Like, oh, sorry, yeah, your girlfriend, yeah. I mean, this is obviously from the comic books. Gotta got the scene. Like, they always cringe at the, and Gary Oldman. Definitely hamming up there like...
Look at your face!
Yeah, damn!
But, I mean, this also kind of grounds it in having these two people who hated each other when they first met.
I just think
became friends, worked together, and now you're seeing...
I think they should have left off with this character right here. And maybe a little bit, like maybe him... Like if they added a subplot, like if they wanted to get the 2.5 hour length where he had an abusive father like they had in that Batman Annual number 14, which was a Two-Face origin story. And like where he goes and kills his father at the end of it. Something like that. Yeah, and then you saved him for the third
His impetus
movie.
In this is crime. And then, so when there's regular crime... He's crazy enough to flip a fake coin that he knows will always land heads, but still do things
what
outside.
Happens in this...
Hold on. And then the other impetus is Joker, which turns him into supervillain, you know? So that's what they did.
But you save it for a third movie. Like, what the problem is that they do all this, they add a fourth act to a 3-act movie structure, and then you kill off Batman, you make him retire... Like after 2 years of service, it ruins the movie.
I
it
was
ruins
hoping
the franchise
for Two-Face to come back,
and you would have been
film.
able. He's after the Joker. He's probably my favorite character. I mean, debatably the Riddler, but Riddler's hard to do. Like, I mean, Two-Face is consistently usually good. Like Riddler is not consistently. I love the Riddler. I have a lot of affinity for him, but he's not consistently good. Joker's consistently good.
How does ankles heal so quickly?
I think he's limping, like, later on. He's got the cane right here.
Oh, that's
Or,
right.
like,
That's
yeah.
right.
But that goes nowhere either. So I never understood that. He tells Gordon where he can find the Joker, and nothing happens with it. It's like they deleted it. Like, so you get this scene, and nothing happens with that conversation between Maroney and Gordon. He visits them at the hospital, and they're getting ready, and then they get interrupted by the Joker saying that that classic line, I'm gonna blow up a hospital, and they don't follow through with that. So again, it gets very sloppy at the end of this movie. And I love this scene here.
I don't disagree with that, and especially.
Please explain it to me if you know what. But what's the point of that dialogue? Why not cut that out? What is the point of it?
I mean, it's a red herring.
There's no red herring. But that doesn't
matter because
it doesn't matter at
keep
all.
The story going the way it is. Yeah.
It ruins the pace. It makes you think like you're missing something here. Instead, just have them do this after they find out that after he throws in that bomb threat with Mr. East. This is all pointless.
Well, they're having the scene, so this way they're all together watching.
You could easily do that with the police or something. I mean, you would easily do that.
A call or something.
Yeah, you don't need that.
Just put out.
I love the Joker's motivation. I'm only burning my half. Like,
yeah,
I loved, and this line, this city deserves a better classic criminal, and I'm gonna give it to him. Ugh. It almost gives me a chub. I fucking love it.
Yeah, stop jerking off, Joe.
I'm not jerking off. I'm just rubbing up against the outside of my pants.
Why do you have so much baby and coconut oil?
Can you make your arm go to sleep and then just can
you turn your hand upside down?
Yeah.
And
no, just and don't pay any attention. Just flex your.
You have
elbow.
to make your own arm go to sleep.
Well, I can't reach around that. Like it's
then
better
there's
if
no
I get
point
like
of my arm being asleep.
Whatever the other side of the elbow is. I love it though. This once again, great scenes of the Joker. Like is very and this is a callback to his first appearance. First appearance is. Ugh. I had a change of heart.
It's.
Yeah. Why should I have all the fun? Let's give someone else a
chance.
You
have, Joker taking the city of Gotham hostage with some crazy scheme. 89 did Joker. It well. This one did it well.
This one did better than 89, yeah.
Our new introduction to the Joker and the current line of
So now the Maroney plot line is now all but disappeared.
Right, we know where to get the Joker, but now we're on this. I see what you're saying.
So you could easily, if you could have taken half,
the point was to get all of them together.
Then you could have taken half the people and gotten the Joker, then, and done the same thing. Like, what was the point? They didn't even do that job because they had nowhere to go. So if anything, get the Joker out,
it would be funny
then let everyone know.
After this, he goes on TV again and says, "I changed my mind again."
Yeah, it's really, I don't know.
This is also impeccable timing.
No, I buy this too. Like, it's great. And I mean, I'm not certain. Like, I mean, I know Gotham City's corrupt, so that's fine. I get it. Like, I mean, and people have their, people would be going to kill this guy, but I'll buy it for just the plot device. I love it. Like, and, once again, more showcasing Chicago. I mean, I find it hard to believe you can get around the city that fast.
The ordinary citizen line I just realized was in this and the next one. They just said it.
Oh, what?
Ordinary citizen.
Oh.
Like, whoever says that, you're an ordinary citizen. You're not a superhero. Or Bane.
Yeah.
Or Ra's al Ghul's daughter.
Anthony Michael Hall there. Doing his first... I mean, that's the first time I'd seen him since, probably Breakfast Club or the Johnny
He was
movies.
in... USA's The Dead Zone.
I didn't see that. Yeah. I gave Anthony Michael Hall a shot to come back. I mean, who thinks who'd be perfect for this journalism role? Anthony Michael Hall.
It's also so small, right?
Right. I mean, fine. It's fine, but I don't know who Anthony Michael Hall had to blow to get that role. I
mean, so he goes from the dork in Breakfast Club, and he's in Weird Science too, right?
He has the same physical and body. Yes.
But then he goes to the bully and Edward Scissorhands.
Oh, I forgot. I don't really like Edward Scissorhands.
Well, he's still in it as the bully.
Right. But he kind of like, he like worked out kind of like Carrot Top did. And now he's like almost unrecognizable because he's buff.
Carrot Top's jacked.
Right, yeah. Not, like half of Carrot Top.
The top half?
Yeah, the bottom half, or mid half. Oh, this is ridiculous too. What are the odds, huh? I guess maybe he like volunteered for this so he could shoot him, but
Probably. But you're right, there's a lot of
yeah.
serendipity almost.
But it didn't require plan. I mean, you know, I get it. Like, it's fine. I love Two-Face's little CGI makeup. I think it's great. I find it ridiculous that he doesn't know it's the Joker until he takes off his fucking face mask. Like, it's only covering the bottom half of his face. You know?
Well, just because he starts freaking out doesn't mean that he didn't
Jimmy, you don't always
first.
need to defend everything. Come on. Like, when you rewind it, he's staring right at him until he takes it off, and then he's like, oh, you're the Joker now. Like, it's definitely movie logic again. It's like if it's not on screen, they don't see it, even though it's like right
there
in
might be a out of film
Jimmy,
version for this, or
Jimmy,
a reason. Well, so apparently he was like really fucking with him when he was tied down, like when they weren't filming. So when they filmed that, he like shook his hands.
I can only judge the movie from what's on the screen, and he stares at him for a good like 2 seconds until he starts taking off that little surgical mask that only covers up from the bottom of his nose and his mouth, that he recognizes the Joker, even though he's wearing white face paint and huge eyeshadow and green hair. Like, I'm sorry, but he still has the other.
One of 17 people right now with that mask on.
Yeah, he's just a regular hospital clown dressed as a nurse. Wait, no, you're not.
And nurses don't even dress like that.
But I'm fine. Like, okay, like if that reveal was done a little bit better, the rest of the scene's great, you know. But it could have ended,
sure.
It could have ended right here with him just blowing his head off and be like the end.
Oh, there's right. It's all chance.
Batman will return.
So I guess like we can look at it was chance that Rachel Dawes was there.
That's very comic book accurate. The Joker like always seems to escape death, even though he'll practically like stare it down in the face. You know, I buy this. It's fine. Just the reveal, like it's very ridiculous.
Also, him wearing that and that reveal of the sticker, which is not blink and you'll miss it, but it's
a joke. It's a little joke, yeah. He definitely likes pathos humor and dark humor. Took your little plan and I turned it on itself. A few drums of gas and a couple of bullets. You did a little bit more than that. I mean, you had a fucking bazooka. I mean, like when he says that, you know, I just like gasoline and dynamite. I mean, like, no,
bazooka is just a big bullet, though.
But it took a lot more money. Like, he acts like all these things are cheap. Like, you have henchmen, you have cops on your payroll, you have bombs attached to cruise ships. I mean, these things take more money. Yeah, I would
you
maybe
have a fleet of school buses.
Right. Yeah, it wasn't just gas and dynamite and gasoline or whatever ways he says guns. I don't know, whatever. Little bit more expensive than he makes it up. But hey, I love the scene. It's fine. I get the gist of what he's saying. He doesn't need the money. He'll just kill for it and keep killing for it. Because really, that was always the thing. Like, and they do it in the comics too. Like, he'll steal like money, but then he's like, "How do I spend this? Because I'm the Joker. Like, I can't go out in public. Like, you know."
Yeah, like.
Yeah, I might as well just keep stealing everything I need, and I don't need money. Like, so I just like steal nuclear weapons.
I guess he could give it to his henchmen to spend for him, but.
Well, I've always thought that would make a great like graphic novel or something. It's like what temp agency? Where do they get these people from? Like, who would want to be like a Riddler henchman? Like, I'm like, okay, you're practically guaranteed to get caught by the Joker.
Read War of Jokes and Riddles.
All right, yeah. I will.
Because there's a lot of, not answered, but you see motivation for that stuff.
Even like any of these, like I mean, they always have these calling cards, and like I would definitely not want to be a henchman. I would just, you know, I wouldn't want to subcontract.
Right, like, you know, you're fucked, right? Like,
yeah,
you're almost certainly
Joker's
fucked.
either going to kill you or you can get your ass beat by Batman. I do love this interaction
or
here between Bruce
Joker's
Wayne. As a brave thing you did, trying to catch the light. You're in protect. Who's in it? And yeah, that eye contact.
Wink.
Yeah. Like,
but like he was already taken care of almost because of Like, he'll beat you up, but now it's like, all right, I saved your life too, so really don't do it.
Well, I mean, he even despite that, he went on the news and was saying that he was going to announce who Batman was.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
So now, but I guess if he was that jerky, he would probably maybe still do it. I don't know, but I guess maybe he did technically. All right, I saved your life, dude. Like, are you going to be that much of a jerk? But in this city, considering that everyone's trying to kill him, I think he might be that big of a jerk.
Well, now, circumstances have changed too.
Yeah.
Without hearing this and not reading the subtitles, I'm just going off of
that's fine. Like I said,
memory. Hey, did you know that this was a blah blah?
And it's not people like this. It was totally scripted. It's in the script that it stops exploding, and then. So I remember, like I was trying to get down here for this explosion, and they pulled a 180. It got leaked what time they were going to blow up this building, and then they released some fake news saying like, no, that's not the case. They're blowing it up later in the day. So then I did my schedule, and then I found out that they just did it. I was about ready to get on the train to go down because it was a really bad part of town, and they'd
where was it?
It was like down south or west side, like really bad, like I don't know. I'm sure like most cities are like that. Yeah, I mean you can travel like 10 minutes down Elston and be behind order a submarine sandwich behind 2 inches of bulletproof glass.
Yeah.
But, I mean, that was like definitely gang territory.
I think
they just didn't want a lot of people, like, obviously.
Stereotype of Chicago being that dangerous is untrue. I mean, there's definitely parts that are very bad, but most of Chicago I'm fine walking through.
Yeah, right. This is gangland, dude. Like, I mean,
you were in gangland.
Where they shot that was gangland. Like, that was definitely not, I mean, I've been, like, I used to work, like, contracting jobs. Like, I've been, like, to really, where you had to, like, stand outside and watch the van because they were gonna, like, take all your tools and shit. I mean, there are definitely bad, like, it's like a different world, like, if you go down a certain area. And if you doubt that, I will drive with you and you can
I'm not doubting that. I'm just saying, you're right, but there's just,
it's not all like that.
Portions that are like that, and you were in that portion as well.
Right, right. That's how I said it.
Chicago.
It was a bad part of town. It seems like you're right.
You're across the tracks.
Yeah, bad part of the tracks. Those, what is it? The Outsiders, or Pretty in Pink, I guess too.
Lots of movies.
No.
Across 110th Street.
I feel like this is like.
Hey, what's going on in here?
It was very like post 9/11 Batman. So this is the scene I'm in here, like when they're evacuating. I remember like I had to go around this thing, and they kept telling us like not to tell people what movie they were shooting, but I couldn't help myself. So anytime
Rory's First Kiss.
Yeah, it was Rory's First Kiss. When I went for the thing, it was for Rory's First Kiss. I'm like, this is Batman. You have to let me do this. I'll do this for free. Just let me do this. And luckily they paid me and still let me do it. And then when we filmed the scene, they told us not to tell anyone what we were shooting. And I couldn't, like, every time, like, what are you guys shooting? I'm like, it's the new Batman movie. Shh, don't tell anyone. Like, I just couldn't help it.
You didn't hear from me.
I was so excited.
Why is your phone filming me?
It was like every single time, like, I forgot, like, shit, I'm not supposed to tell anyone. I'm so excited. Some crazy tendons coming down here. But they got the gist of the Two-Face character, the flip of the coin, shoot, don't shoot.
He also has motivation too, because he wants to be so fucking good, and is perceived as good, but has this obviously horrible other side literally to him.
Considering that they're adding him in very late into once again, he deserved his own movie. He deserved like an origin story that's fine in this movie, ending with him becoming Two-Face. Maybe a quick little. Thing.
So, I mean, clearly, though, because Ledger died after filming his scenes and the movie was written. So, do you think had Ledger not died, that the plan was to bring him back for more that would flesh out his character more?
Well, I mean, they definitely would have added, like, they would add something, even a cameo, rather than just completely. I definitely think that, he might not have been a big part, but he would have been enough of a part, more so than the Scarecrow, I feel. Like, at least that part would have...
totally.
Yeah.
He's also... even though he died, he's a plot point in the third movie with the Harvey Dent act.
I mean, I guess, not very loosely, but I think it's more of an injustice to kill his character off than to, like, hire someone to portray the Heath Ledger Joker. I think that would have been more
Oh, I'm talking about Two-Face.
Oh. Once again, I said, like, the best thing to do would, like, to just have Two-Face in the third part.
Yeah.
And if Dark Knight Rises came out next year, I'd be very happy with it. It's the Kingdom of the Crystal Skulls of the Batman franchise, except they missed the Ark of the Covenant, what's the
Last
third?
Crusade.
Last Crusade, yeah.
Well, my point was that, like, had Ledger lived, he would have brought both of them back, and he had a story with both of them in it. And with Ledger dying, he couldn't bring Two-Face back because he couldn't find a reason.
So filming was done when Ledger died.
That's what I'm saying. So the story was written, so he was always going to fall off that thing.
Right.
You know?
Right, but initially, like after Batman Begins, and we first started, his initial plan was to do a Joker, then do a Two-Face.
I see.
Right. Then it divulged into just combining it all into this one because he wasn't certain if he was going to do a third one. And I think that was a big mistake.
I mean, that's also kind of like pisses me off because if it ended here, would you be more pissed if it ended here or, you know?
I think I'd be happier with it ending here. I mean, I think I'd be happier and this movie ending 20 minutes early and that never seeing, like, I mean, you could at least hold out hope that he would come back and do it eventually. Like, I don't know. And then if I got Dark Knight Rises, then I'd be happy because then it's like, okay, Batman's been Batman all this time. We haven't seen him. And maybe someone will come back and do like an in-between or something.
So you have none of this stuff.
But
you still have Joker freeing him in the hospital. That's the last you see of Two-Face. Then you have all the Joker stuff. Then the movie ends.
Yeah. And then like I said, you'd have something at the end where he does a little revenge shit. I get it, but he doesn't die, you know? And you more like that. The first movie ended on such a like high note, like a cliff, like the Joker's coming in the next one. If you ended on high, like the Two-Face returns or something like that,
this one
ends where like, yeah, everyone's dead.
Who's dead? Who's alive? What the fuck is going on with Batman?
Right.
You smash the bat signal. Is that the end? Yeah, I guess I get it.
And Batman's gonna go run off and retire. And
The
even
third
though,
one
and now
ended
he fell off
though.
the skyscraper, but now he fell off 3 stories and now he's injured beyond repair. He's gonna walk with a cane and retire now.
I mean, it could be a series of injuries that led him to...
He seems to be walking fine up until that point. He's perfectly bad. So I was in this scene.
He's perfectly Batman.
Yeah. And that guy was right next to him, but I think they cut me out. So here's the thing. So the extra, and I'm a horrible actor.
You say you're in a lot of scenes, Joe.
No, this is the last scene. So they tell you to be angry that they're laying these convicts on there. So I couldn't help myself but yelling like "fuck you" and like get flipping the bird. So I think they cut me out.
Get out of here, fascists!
Because I was like right in the front, and I'm like I had to be like, okay, I don't know, this is just me. That's how I would do it. But this is where this seems like a Two-Face plot point. That Two-Face gets 2 people, the good and the bad, on 2 ships, and then Gotham, you have to decide which one. That seems more like the conflict of Two-Face rather than the Joker. And if this was in the third movie, or if Two-Face was behind this, I would have liked this more.
I'm going to get a little, maybe too abstract, but the point of this is that there's duality to everyone, and the Joker was bringing that out in Gotham.
That's more trying to. Right, that's the Two-Face. Joker's anarchy.
Well, Joker created Two-Face in a way.
So if Two-Face did this, it would make a lot more sense. Then Two-Face would have a whole arc. Then Two-Face.
I think he's trying to make everyone into Two-Face. You know what I mean?
Once again, everything up until this point like rings true from the comic books. This does not seem like a Joker. I would not see this in the comic books. The Joker 2s. This is more like you could bring this into 2s and like the good versus evil. This is a Two-Face, in my opinion, a Two-Face crime right here. Like
it's classic Two-Face crime. 2 boats, 2 choices.
Right. Good, bad. Right? Like who's the flip of the coin? Who's going to do it first? This is Two-Face. In my opinion, this might have been written for Two-Face until he decided to just do it all at once, and it fit better with the Joker.
I might be trying to just justify it and make it make sense. But I don't think it's that much of a stretch that I'm fitting a square peg into a round hole.
Dude, you could have done so many numerous things with the Joker. Like, even like that hospital scene, if you made that a bigger thing, and if you just cut this out, alright, if you just cut this out and then had this in the third part, and then you extended the hospital scene, and then you went to like, you know, where the next scene with the Joker with all the hostages, the hospital hostages, it fits perfectly. This is more, once again, Joker or whatever. Or Two-Face. Sorry.
Two-Face, yeah.
I paused it. All right. So I don't know what you guys... weigh in it with your opinions on our Facebook page, or write us a review, and you can put your opinion after a 5-star review. I personally think this scene would be better suited to Two-Face.
Tweet me at Bruce Wayne World No S on Twitter. Actually been doing that lately, so that's fun.
That's very good of you, Jimmy.
Thanks, Joe.
Yeah. I don't know, like, this whole, like, once again, I mean, I get it, like, good and evil, the convicts on the one, and, I mean, it definitely seems like a little bit of a forced plot point, but I would buy it more, once again, with Two-Face. And then you always know, like, okay, if they didn't call this character Renee Montoya because she's going to end up being a bad guy. Like I said, just like they use that guy that looks more like Bullock and call him Flash because he's going to be a bad guy.
It's like they took all the worst qualities of both those characters.
Like, same thing in 89. They didn't call him Bullock. They called him Eckhart because he turned out to be a bad guy, you know? Even though Bullock started out in the comics as a bad guy. He was trying to get Gordon's job.
When was his debut?
Late 70s, very early 80s. Very early 80s, like, you know.
I was honestly first introduced to him in TAS, but...
So I just realized, or I heard, that Renee Montoya made her debut in the animated series, or she was created for the animated series, but made her debut first in the comic books. And I have the comic book. It was an arc with the Electrocutioner, and I remember her meeting Jim Gordon. She just signed in for the police department, and Batman comes in the office and she pulls her gun on Batman. And then they are introduced, and it's Renee Montoya. And that was her first appearance in the comic books. But just because of the production schedule, the comic book was released before the animated series episode with Renee Montoya. But she was originally created by Paul Dini and Bruce Timm for the animated series. I didn't know that, so that's pretty cool.
That is cool.
Yeah. And Renee Montoya obviously became a very, secondary character, tertiary character in the Batman mythos.
Supporting Gotham City PD.
Yeah, I mean, definitely when you think about Gotham PD, you should be in the top 5.
I mean, you think of Gordon, Bullock,
Renee Montoya. Yeah. I mean, maybe, I don't know. Yeah, I would say those 3. There's Crispus Allen, maybe. I mean, that's a pretty obscure.
I mean, yeah. Still need to read the Gotham Central.
And I love Gary Oldman in everything. Oh, you still have that?
Yeah.
Yeah, fucking get on that, dude.
Well, you know I take forever, but I eventually do things.
No, I don't know about the eventually part. How's Daredevil? How you enjoying that Friday the 13th game?
Hey, The Rocketeer was good.
Yeah.
So this is for sure the part of the movie where I was like, why? Really?
I don't know.
This
so
is, to me, the worst part of it.
I liked it. So we're talking about like the sonar thing. It's obviously like a bat. I just think they could have done his eyes closer to the comic books and just gave him white eyes, more like, Daredevil or something, or not Daredevil, Deadpool.
The first time I'm watching this film, it's all happening really fast, and the sound mixing might not be the best. So I was kind of, maybe not confused, but just like, it was just, seemed like too much too quickly, which is, I guess, the whole final act of the film.
Well, it's definitely like, I don't know, Deus Ex Machina, I guess, again, using that phrase, or, I mean, like,
but he created it, though. Deus Ex Machina is...
I guess, like, it's just like something appears out of nowhere in this...
Right. I mean... Joker, we're about to kill him, and Superman popped out. That would be a Deus Ex Machina.
But then I guess maybe more of a MacGuffin. I don't know. Like, they do try and explain it in that. Oh, forget it. No, I'm not going to just start rambling about his technology. It's fine.
He's using phones.
I bought it. I was fine. I was fine with it. But it just definitely seems like it just, to move the plot forward rather than doing detective work or anything else, he has some great technology to do it.
Supercomputer, which Batman's done before, but in the comics, he's also done detective work before.
In the movies, it tends to be more like the end-all be-all, where in the comics, it's a tool that he uses for his detective powers, or abilities. In the movies, it's always, without these tools, what would he do? Nothing, And that's,
It reminded me...
I'd like to see more detective.
Came out a little bit after, what was the computer that he made that eventually became sentient and was like the reason for Infinite Crisis.
I forget. Yeah.
Begins with an OMAC.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Like I said, I mean, I buy it. I'd like to see like the director or whatever for the solo Batman film was talking about, like, you know, everything he said about what he wants of this solo Batman film seems, you know, we've talked about it before, like what I want in a Batman film, and I don't think we've seen it yet. It's just more grounded. It doesn't have to be world ending or like a city terrorism plot. Just gangsters or a serial killer and Batman using detective skills and being like really down to earth, gritty, and taking them out using detective skills.
For the most part, is the first 2/3 of this film.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong, like with the Joker, like he can work either way. He's more like a terrorist or a serial killer, but I think he definitely uses the media or something to create fear in the populace more than a normal serial killer. But I think Two-Face would be just as served as a gangster or a bank robber, you know, something like that.
Or the Riddler as the serial killer.
Right. Like I would think the Riddler's, I think what I said before, like a little bit part 7, the movie 7 and, Die Hard, the one where, with
a Vengeance.
No, with, is that with
Simon Says?
Yeah. I mean, it's cool too, like him taking out the cops without really having to harm them, you know, that this whole little kicks the one guy off and everyone follows.
It's pretty cool.
I like it.
You can see him almost thinking like, okay, now.
Yeah, sorry, but you're being dicks. There's a nice little shot of his puzzle pants, though.
I like that guy trying to grab on him. No.
Yeah, no.
And they like maybe could have slammed into those ledges or whatever, but they didn't. So at this point, this is all Batman, like, you know, going up on the zip line or whatever.
I do love the Joker does that where he's trying to get the cops to kill the hostages for him by, like, you know, switching the roles around. The hostages are, you know.
Yeah, that's a great joke for the Joker to play, right?
And he's taking over these dogs that, you know, Batman faced in the first scene of this movie, and now they're back again. You know, that's fine, yeah. And then, you know, they're not really loyal.
The dogs?
Yeah, because they've abandoned their owner for their new owner. It doesn't matter. Like, yeah, I think the guy says a line something like that. A loyal dog, or
that's a trope. That's true.
Right.
But that's a trope that's been used.
Right. I just
Thrones,
like it with the Joker.
One,
right. I love the beat down too. Like the way he's beating down like Batman in that scene. I love that's more maniacal, like more like crazy strength, where it's just a rampage of just beating rather than like, it's not like one punch. He's so strong. He's just really going at him just with everything he has.
A lot of Joker plots build up to just that encounter where they're both just eventually fucking punching each other, which...
Little tiny Zeus Lister cameo. I have expected him to be called like Waylon Jones or something.
Yeah, right?
Mm-hmm.
Biggest role for him is Fifth Element President.
Is he? Yeah. I don't know. I don't buy this. It's especially all these people with their kids on the boat. I don't know. Me for one, I'd be like, "Yep, here, hand me that key. They're done. Okay, my kid's safe. That's fine." You know, I mean,
you say that, but like you got your hand on the button, literally, and you know, could you do it?
I mean, just protect my family. Sure. I don't think there's anything off the table. I don't know. But once again, I buy this whole like juxtaposition better with a Two-Face behind the wheel rather than the Joker. Joker anarchy, and I think there could have been a better way to display that than this duality, which once again really strikes as a Two-Face story.
They even say he's trying to bring out the worst in
right.
Gotham.
But once again, I think there would be a better way to do that, even with the hospital scene. If drawing that out and making it more climactic, this is duality, not anarchy. Is what I'm like
for sure.
It's just better served as Two-Face.
The 89 using money, like maybe you could use that money to have people like have
There's
to like
a million other
kill
things,
another person to
and
get
I'm
it or
certain
something.
if I had sat down, I'm sure that came out about as like a Two-Face arc, like, and it just got brought into this. It has to be. I'm not disparaging his writing talents, David Goyer or whatever. I just think that he liked it so much they decided to use it because the Two-Face movie wasn't going to come about.
Goyer's credited with I think it was rewritten a lot.
Whoever,
Jonathan Nolan, Chris's brother, but.
I'm more partial like this dialogue between Batman and Joker coming up, like the immovable, unstoppable force meeting an immovable object. Just fantastic. Once again, pulls right out of the comic books.
But another big point of this, like maybe the method of the two boats wasn't good, but the point is that he thought he could bring out the worst in Gotham's populace, and he was wrong.
Once again, I've never. Everything else is struck so true about the Joker. Like once again, verbatim. I would think more like this whole like confused why the bomb didn't go off, more like kind of like the Bane thing where he didn't realize he dismantled the bomb. Like I don't think the Joker. Once again, it just rings more true as a Two-Face thing. I can't show me another story in the comics that's anywhere like this. Like I've pointed out numerous examples with the hospital story arc and everything else that is very true to the comic books. This one doesn't seem true. I just think it could have been better, and it could have been better served with Two-Face in a third movie. I'm
not completely disagreeing, but I think the whole point was to have this conversation and Joker trying to bring out the worst in Gotham, which again didn't happen, and they just said that.
Right, but it's like okay, so rather anarchy, and then if you had this duality of good versus evil, with a third movie with Two-Face as the main villain, then I get all of those themes and how they're crescendoing like into one another, and like the first one's fear, then this one's anarchy, then the other was duality and good versus evil, and I get that. This one seems to go from anarchy to that duality, and while Two-Face is busy just with his revenge tactics, that's my this could have just been the hospital thing, and you could have still had this scene. And you could have had the hospital thing.
I recognize what you're saying. Kind of just to get back to this speech, which is one of the best parts about the film and just completely boiling down the relationship again. I've had friends who don't read Batman or get Batman as much as we do, just to prove that general audiences don't appreciate it as much as we do sometimes, that said they could have just had him fall to clear up any question about the Joker coming back after Heath Ledger's
I
dead,
do think that,
which completely ruins the entire point of where this was all going.
But I do agree to a certain degree. Extent is that after he's saying it, like we'll go on doing this forever, and then you never see him again, and Batman retires right after this conversation. I'm sorry, but that mutes the impact of this dialogue. Like, so you're saying the Joker is wrong, and then that's not right. Like I believe what the Joker is saying because that's true. It's once again it's true to his character from the comic books.
If you want to get more meta just about the characters and not talk about the third film, it's completely true.
Right.
I guess what you're saying.
Right. If you
for
just
the third film, it makes no sense.
Yes. If you just take it for what it is in this movie, it's fantastic. Seeing it as a whole, exploring the franchise as a whole, it irritates me that they didn't. I think leaving that scene in, you had to recast the Joker. I'm sorry for Heath Ledger. I think it does his portrayal of this role more a disservice to not recast him than to recast and say do a Heath Ledger. Like you could have gotten that. I forget his name all the time. The guy from Garden State and from Black Mass. I always call him out as like one of my top choices.
From Black Mass.
Yeah, he was in Black Mass.
Oh my God. Yes, I know exactly what you're talking about.
It's
it
Erickson.
With
I forget. He's always on my top Riddler or Joker choice. But he is a great actor. He could have done like a Heath Ledger Joker. He's got the facial construction. Alexander Skarsgård is his name.
Yes. Yeah, no, he's good.
He would,
he's
and
really
I
good.
think just like they did when he died, and then you just had different actors play his character in that Terry Gilliam movie. And granted, that movie sucked, but like it just kills his character. It destroys everything he said in it.
Well, that's a good point to bring up. Is at what point does respecting the previous portrayal versus
Frankly, do you think
telling a story
like what they did in Star Wars, where they just CGI'd dead actors?
Well, so that's a very good
Right,
point.
like
so they used Peter Cushing. Carrie Fisher was not yet dead.
Right,
when they did that.
but I'm sure they'll do her. I mean, they'll have,
So Disney said there's no way they are doing that.
But just because it's so fresh. So what's the
I think Carrie Fisher would have been fine for the sake of her character to get recast.
I mean, she made jokes with James Cameron and all that about how she had. They just did something on. I forget the website did something about actor portrayals like that. They mentioned Sky Captain the World Tomorrow and how they used Alec Guinness in that. And they've mentioned a lot. Like
I've never seen that. Did they do that?
Yeah, at the end. I haven't either, but yeah, and it raises some interesting questions. But I don't think the answer is to just erase the character from the third movie. I don't think that is the right answer.
I think as long as you have permission from the estate to do something like that,
yeah,
which I believe they got with Peter Cushing.
I mean, in the end, many people have played the Joker before and since. So, okay, even if they went and did a completely do-your-own-thing Joker I would buy that. Like, you've recast Rachel Dawes, you know.
They did it, and this might not be a good example, but the actor who played Dumbledore in the second Harry Potter died between 2 and 3, and they recast it. Mm-hmm. Obviously, you can't write Dumbledore out of the Harry Potter films.
Well, and there's plenty of examples where people die mid-shoot, and then you have to shemp it.
You have,
Brandon
Lee.
Right, so just because it's a sequel, because of that speech, leads you to believe that they have to continue. And then not continuing is glaringly, like, even though he's written off in the novelization, it's glaringly missing, because they don't continue. They are not in a movable form. They stop him from moving.
I'm not the biggest Fast and the Furious fan, but I know Paul Walker
same thing,
dying.
Yeah. And they had
sure,
brothers
maybe you can
replaced.
retire that character.
Yeah. But
in something like this,
they still had to do CGI and with his brothers to finish the movie.
Well, yeah. To finish the one movie, that all makes sense. And then to retire the character for the next if it didn't matter. But
they didn't.
Not to talk down on Fast and the Furious and Paul Walker, but I think Joker matters more. And I think now you have me thinking about Leia and Carrie Fisher. So
anyway, we've got Two-Face here, and he's wrapping up. And even walking out of this movie, I was like, he did not die. There's no way he died, because they would have made it clear that he died.
I was talking about that with Daniel for years.
Yeah, and then Nolan came out and said, he's dead. I'm like, no way. Like, he's got to be kidding, because any director would have done a close up or made sure that the audience knew he's dead.
I remember an Eric Eckhart interview saying, I hope I'm not dead. I haven't gotten a call yet for the
because Batman falls from the same height as and he's alive.
He's got armor on.
But still, he fell from a skyscraper. Once again, he falls from a skyscraper with Rachel Dawes, who doesn't have armor on. They're both fine. They're not even unconscious. Then he falls from this same length. Two-Face dies, and then he's crippled for life.
Well, have you ever dropped your phone
in the same
10
movie.
Feet and it's fine, and then drop it off the couch and it breaks?
Yeah, right. Well, I would hope that
I'm
hoping that Batman's costume is better than my phone protector. And this is obviously, once again, very much like year one. I think it could have been done a lot better.
It's cool, and it's awesome that he, sacrificed. And it would be a lot more poignant if Two-Face didn't
if this was the third movie and Batman died at the end. Okay, then I could buy that. He'd sacrifice himself for his son. That's the end of the third movie. And then maybe he's not that. Maybe he's even crippled.
Or
he
retires and does the exact
then
same
you do
thing
the Dark Knight Rises 10 years later, and I would even like that movie a lot better. This as being the second movie just after you had that Joker speech, and just after you in the same movie you saw him fall off a skyscraper. That's my problem. And this movie is fine, but then once you start the next movie messes all that up. It's kind of like H2O is great. I think, once again, the body count, Halloween H2O, has its flaws, but it's overall a good movie. It's one of the better in the franchise.
Then
Resurrection comes in, and
Laurie
Strode gets killed, right?
20 minutes.
Rather than Laurie Strode finalizing it, and that's the only reason why she agreed to do it. So she killed Michael Myers. Then she was contractually obligated to do the next one, where Michael Myers,
didn't kill Michael.
Yeah, she fucked up, and then now Michael Myers dead, and then they have Busta Rhymes in there, and Michael can't even take him out, and Busta Rhymes is, once again, when the next movie completely disregards and tarnishes the movie before it, it just pisses me off.
Halloween did that before, though, with the end of 4, where the little girl is
exactly,
meant to be the killer,
and that's why
they
5
just
sucks and
ignored
4
it.
is awesome. I guess some people would say the same thing about 2, and so I guess you got this close-up shot, but it's not really, it's more like he's unconscious. Like,
it looks like he's not...
Yeah. You don't know. They don't come out. They say you either die here or you live long enough to see yourself become the villain. But that's not saying he died because he lived long enough to see himself become the villain. So,
well,
and
the
even
idea is that he died as Batman's making.
I get that in retrospect, but they
Batman's
didn't
living to be the villain, even though he's not.
Right, but they didn't really explain this to the audience then. And then, okay, so even this dialogue of "I'm whatever Gotham needs me to be," call it in, say what I did it. I'm expecting the next movie is going to be he's still Batman and the cops are just still fighting him. And Gordon's secretly working with him, but he's got just as much to lose. And I like that concept. Not that he retires. I mean, that all is good because of the dent.
Personally, I like to believe between, and you will say that we have no evidence for this, but between this movie and Rises, he still operated a little bit.
You have directly
and then he got more injured.
You have directly contrary evidence. He says he does not, he retires. He does not fight crime in that movie. Like, you can't just make up your own movie and put it in between to make it better. Like, they did not want that. They specifically say he retires after this. He goes off. You haven't seen him. You haven't even seen Bruce Wayne.
Like Homer Simpson, where he makes up his own movie.
Yeah, and all because Christopher Nolan wanted to do a Howard Hughes movie, and they got beaten to the punch by Martin Scorsese. So he tried to fit that. What he had written.
What are you talking about? Avatar came out before this movie.
Howard Hughes. What does Avatar have to do with?
Howard Hughes is the character Aviator.
Right. So he was writing a script that was going to be his next movie. He wanted to do a Howard Hughes movie. Martin Scorsese beat him to it. So he took parts of his script that he already wrote and formed it for Bruce Wayne, which is why Bruce Wayne, they even have the line he's got 10-inch nails and pissing into mason jars because that's what Howard Hughes did.
Exactly, yeah.
And he's locked up in his mansion because he'd already written that for a Howard Hughes biopic. So I think that's kind of a shitty thing to do, in my opinion. Like, I really think, I think everyone is susceptible to it. Like, when you are surrounded by people that just always give you high praise, and when you have such a successful streak, it's more difficult to doubt yourself, or more difficult to, like, get honest reaction feedback from someone else. And I think he really needed it in the third part. And I know a lot of people will disagree with me, and, it's fine to disagree. So it's, whatever. Like, I'm happy if you like it. Like, I love Batman. There are people.
I disagree.
Yeah.
I like that movie a lot.
We'll get into it sooner or later, huh? Well,
I think we've kind of come to terms with that.
Yeah.
So again, if you haven't listened to the show, and shame on you, but not the first time I met Joe, but maybe like third, fourth, we're talking about Batman, and I get extremely defensive about The Dark Knight Rises, and Joe is like, "What the fuck are you talking about? You're out of your mind."
And we argued about Rob Zombie Halloween too.
Yeah, probably. At that point, I may have just been purposefully antagonistic, but.
Well, I'm probably running along here, but I guess probably next I'm going to try and catch up on the War of Jokes and Riddles. We'll have Justice League movie to review. And then we'll take it from there.
Those are two big things. I know some people are looking, or at least one person anyways, is looking forward to our War of Jokes and Riddles review. Yeah. I'm excited for you to read that. I'm expecting you
I love both of the characters. I'm
expecting you to have a mixed reaction to it. I hope you like it. I want you to like current Batman comics. I think it's very good. Also, Tom King, please come on our show.
I'm sure he's listening.
Also, if you like this podcast and other podcasts on the Batman Universe, go to the BatmanUniverse.net. There's a Patreon.
We don't get any of the money, but hey.
But it keeps our show afloat.
Right. I don't say anything.
In a way.
We still have to pay.
But also, that's... I found it. We're saying, I'm with that.
Yeah,
but also, you get perks, too. If you donate, I think it's $5.
Not from us.
A month. Our perk is that we get to hang out.
No extra
you get something. I'm not sure what it is, but I follow us on Twitter at Bruce Wayne World. I tweeted, so it's good.
And give us a review on the iTunes. That helps us a lot. Subscribe. Tell your friends if you like it. If you don't like it, keep it to yourself.
So again, also bat info at brucewaynesworld.net. Excuse me, apologies. That email was left unchecked for a while and kind of lapsed. It's back in business.
Do we got
if you email it.
Emails in the inbox?
So remember when we were giving away the shirt with that contest?
Yeah.
So I emailed the one guy. He didn't respond. I emailed the second, so number 19 or whatever. He needs a medium. I never ordered that medium for you.
Oh my god!
I'm gonna email me, or I'm gonna email you.
You see what kind of a half-assed operation this is?
Okay, hold on. I promise you, I am back in business. So
Dude, I'm surprised that guy hasn't bitched about it. Well, he's probably been bitching through the email, and we just haven't been like.
No, because it suspended it, so everything I got interim should be there. I'm gonna send you a complimentary hat too. So maybe Joe wore it. I don't know.
I don't like it. I got a big head, and I don't know. They run small. I guess we gotta get the different supplier of hats.
So, dude, I'm getting you a medium as long as you still listen and are alive and live at the same address.
Make sure,
and a hat.
I don't know. Write us or he did already. Like, I don't know. Yeah, maybe we should do something again.
You're gonna be a guest star on the show, maybe.
If you want to, I'll talk to anyone practically. Given that guy that went on a tirade about how Batman and Robin was the best movie, or was it Batman Forever was the best movie ever?
He loved Batman Forever.
I think that dude needs to see more movies. Is my opinion.
Well, what was great was that he had 2 aliases, right? Almost, or
I don't know.
He's like, oh, I said this one thing after I'd been up or drinking or something,
and then right.
I responded.
He was like Two-Face, yes.
And I responded, but I misworded something, so I thought it would come off.
No, you're just sarcastic, and it's hard to read sarcasm. I mean, yeah, I would have taken it as a joke, but obviously I'm not a psychopath.
Yeah, well. Anyways, we still hate Batman Forever. You're not getting a hat or a shirt. Yeah, I guess.
Okay, well, we'll be punctual next episode. I think so Justice League comes out this Thursday, which is probably the day this drops. So today, and then, yeah, a week after that, or 2 weeks after that, you'll get an episode about it. Because that's how things work at this podcast and at the Batman universe, which is fine. But hey, if you're coming to us for news, you're silly. If you're coming to us for our rantings and ravings on topics and agreeing and disagreeing, hey, that's what we're here for. So, thanks for sticking with us. I had fun. I look forward to Dark Knight Rises and the ensuing arguments and hate mail.
Yeah, interact. The Facebook page is really good. Joe's more on it than I am. Clearly, he runs that. Yeah. But tweet me, because if you tweet me back, I'll tweet you back probably. So
we're gonna tweet each other.
Twat.
All right. Good night, people, or good morning, or whatever you're doing. Hey, look out for that car.
Bye.